बाद ही पता चलेगा। बस एक और बचा है।
Let's not underestimate.
वैसे मेरे भी 5 किल्स हैं और तेरे भी 5। क्या मैंने ठीक खेला?
ये तो बुया के बाद ही पता चलेगा।
तू वेट कर, मैं दिख रहा हूँ।
अबे रुक जा, मैंने से ही शुरू का कैरेक्टर जीता है, इसका फुल यूज तो कर लेना।
Previously on What's Up Free Fire. Huh? What is this place? Free Fire! Welcome to Season 2. I'm back! This is our first episode of the new year, so new enhancements are in order. First up, a big one. Training Grounds Remake. This island is now bigger and better looking. A new, full-sized racing track is being constructed, allowing you to experience the thrill of speed with your friends. Now all we are missing is a super fast car. The target range is also renewed to provide more visual feedback as you hone your skills. An esports hall of fame will be built beside the social zone. Get up close and personal with your favorite team and professional players. Revel in their glories as you forge your own records in the game. You know, I kinda miss Moko. Okay. But seriously though, we are the dynamic duo, don't you think? Now you can form your own dynamic duo. The new partner system allows players to form closer ties with their best buds. As you game and socialize together, your buddy meter increases. More benefits will be added soon, but feel free to tell us what features you would like to see in the comments below. Players will also get a personal name badge, something like this, displayed in your profile page. Together with this addition is the battle tag. Earn it with your performance in each match. This is your badge of honor. You can also visit other players' profiles and look at their ranks, playstyles, and battle tags. Talking about buddies, a new revival mechanism will be introduced in Battle Royale. After completing a series of tasks, it is possible to bring a fallen teammate back into battle. But I must warn you, it is very challenging. You guys asked, and we delivered. The developers have heard your desire for more weapon varieties in Clash Squad. Now, popular weapons will be arranged into multiple sets and rotated as you play more games. May more choices bring more victories for you. And before we go, here's a quick look at the weapon balancing adjustments in this new patch. That's all for our Season 2 premiere. See you next time on What's Up Free Fire.
অসাধারণ গেম প্লে ফ্রম হটশট বাইক ফাইট Lastly, gaming with Naime, don't element.
डैडीज लेडीज प्लेयर। आपका जूनियर 11th भी। आपने गोल्डन बॉल भेजा था क्या?
हाँ, और क्या ऑनलाइन था ही नहीं।
सो आई गेस वी आर द डायनामिक डुओ।
प्रैक्टिस करता है, अभी भी नूब है।
वो तो पूरी आके बाद ही पता चलेगा। बस एक और बचा है।
लेट्स नॉट अंडरएस्टिमेट।
वैसे मेरे भी 5 किल्स हैं और तेरे भी 5। क्या मैंने ठीक खेला?
ये तो बुया के बाद ही पता चलेगा।
तू वेट कर, मैं दिख रहा हूँ।
अबे अबे रुक जा, मैंने से ही शीरू का कैरेक्टर जीता है, इसका फुल यूज तो करने दो।
Previously on What's Up Free Fire. Huh? What is this place? is our first episode of the new year, so new enhancements are in order. First up, a big one, Training Grounds Remake. This island is now bigger and better looking. A new, full-sized racing track is being constructed, allowing you to experience the thrill of speed with your friends. Now all we are missing is a super fast car. The target range is also renewed to provide more visual feedback as you hone your skills. An esports hall of fame will be built beside the social zone. Get up close and personal with your favorite team and professional players. Revel in their glories as you forge your own records in the game. You know, I kinda miss Moko. Okay. But seriously though, we are the dynamic duo, don't you think? Now you can form your own dynamic duo. The new partner system allows players to form closer ties with their best buds. As you game and socialize together, your buddy meter increases. More benefits will be added soon, but feel free to tell us what features you would like to see in the comments below. Players will also get a personal name badge. Something like this, displayed in your profile page. Together with this addition is the battle tag. Earn it with your performance in each match. This is your badge of honor. You can also visit other players' profiles and look at their ranks, playstyles, and battle tags. Talking about buddies, a new revival mechanism will be introduced in Battle Royale. After completing a series of tasks, it is possible to bring a fallen teammate back into battle. But I must warn you, it is very challenging. You guys asked, and we delivered. The developers have heard your desire for more weapon varieties in Clash Squad. Now, popular weapons will be arranged into multiple sets and rotated as you play more games. May more choices bring more victories for you. And before we go, here's a quick look at the weapon balancing adjustments in this new patch. That's all for our Season 2 premiere. See you next time on What's Up Free Fire.
ফুল স্পিডে ফুল অ্যাগ্রেসিভ রেসে কিন্তু দেখা যাক এখানে কিন্তু আরো একজন ডাউন করে ফেলেছে আমাদের অসাধারণ গেম প্লে ফ্রম হটশট ফাইট ফাইট
Ladies and gentlemen, it is really rare that an entire country is waiting for Free Fire to explode. And today, the wait is over because you guys are going to get what you wanted. Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021 is around, and I am excited for some really, really good Free Fire action. This is me, Salty. With me, I have someone who is more popular on the Hindi desk, but certainly he's a veteran in the English desk as well. We have Mamba Senior. Did I say that right, Mamba?
Oh yes, you did, Salty. Now, you can't really go wrong with that one, can you? Now, because you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me for the next two games, and it's gonna be a fun ride because a lot of the viewers don't know what happens behind the scenes, and we'll maybe someday try and show it to you guys. But of course, we'll talk about the teams as well which are playing today. And what's really interesting over here is the fact that these teams, it is the first time on the biggest stage, especially in Bangladesh, right? Because they've played in other tournaments. Sure, they've played scrims as well, but a bigger tournament, a platform like the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship, I think it's very difficult to perform at, because there are multiple factors at play. One, the pressure, of course, the expectations, and just the fact that you've qualified to a point where now you have to go head to head with the best players in the country.
Yeah. Absolutely, I guess. Making things easier for our audience, we have Group A and B. So up front, I guess we have Agent XP, we have Ambush EX, we have Extreme EX as well, we have GB2L Esports, we have Mask Boys, and we have Team Cyanide from Group A. Mamba, want to run us through with Group B?
Well, we can run them through while we go in the game as well, because it doesn't really matter. What really matters is the fact that you put a bullet through the enemy's head. And that is all that is going to count today. And of course, we are going to talk about the format, the maps as well. But Salty, what are your expectations? Because for me, I am on a fairly clean slate, because honestly, yes, sure, I do have some data on these guys. But again, it's just numbers on papers. And as long as you can't execute what you've planned up, it doesn't really matter, does it now?
True. Theories don't really matter a lot when it's actual battleground in front. I feel that you mentioned it rightly, that these guys are stars in their own region, but coupled with the platform which acts as a catalyst, these stars, they can explode into a nebula. With keeping that astronomy aside, I guess we will jump into the game right away. We have Bermuda up front, which is the first map of the day, and certainly we have a lot more coming in. But let's see how this map actually rides us through.
Well, I'm not sure if the map is going to ride us through, or we are going to ride the map out. But I do see a lot of astronomy references coming in from you. I think you're pretty passionate about it, if I'm not mistaken. But talking about the drops as well, right? We have a lot of teams going in towards Observatory and Bullseye. We have 3 teams all in all in that area. We have a team towards Shipyard as well. A lot of early drops towards the northern area, which is quite a surprise, honestly, because I don't think we will see any team go to Sentosa unless we have team number 10 or team number 12 drop down to Pochinok and then maybe take the bridge or a zipline.
Yes, team number 12 definitely is trying to go towards Sentosa, I feel, but they might actually drop down below. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter because the northwestern part of the map, it is so crowded at this moment that I feel that when these teams, they start rotating, a lot of rotations are going to be cut off. There's going to be a lot of interceptions, and that just makes lives for these players so much more difficult, because imagine your mid-rotation fights, they're just so much more difficult. You're trying to rotate, you're trying to go somewhere, but then you have another team waiting for you. They're scoped in and they're right, they're always ready to put a bullet through your brain. Nonetheless, I guess it really makes things very important for you to scout before you actually make a move, and I guess team number 3 is doing that already. As of now, we can see 3 teams on our drone shot: team number 1, team number 7, as well as team number 2. It all just comes down to how you actually get your first weapon, and then you're ready to make a move on your opposition. As I said, a scout is going to be so much more important because this is the first match of the tournament. You don't want to get out first, so definitely it is really, really important for you to just kind of give some intel and get back some reconnaissance for your team.
That is true. Information is key over here, and if you have the right information, you can plan out the rest of your games as well. But talking about the initial drops, even though they are pretty close to each other, all these teams, they're not really fire a single bullet. They don't want to fight, which again, I think we've noticed this as a trend in most of the tournaments. But just the moment I mentioned they don't want to fight, Zishan goes out and he gets a frag for himself, and it's actually Zishan. It's quite a tongue twister, isn't it?
It is definitely a tongue twister because the common name would probably be Zishan or probably something like that, but Zishan, it is kind of complicated. But nonetheless, he has a sniper rifle on him, and definitely he has a very good view on all the players of team number 7. He has a cliff to play off. I wonder what he's trying to do at the moment. I guess he will just try and secure his kill at the moment, because Reflex, the kind of position he's in, getting him right is going to be very, very difficult. And there you go, the first blood, Agent Zisan, if I pronounce that right. I'm not really sure though. But with the kind of position he is in, he has a cliff to work with, Mamba, and he can play around that. He can really play around and take more kills off team number 7, unless they decide to just fall back and move on in this game.
True. Unless they decide to fall back, they can definitely play around the cliff and get a couple of openings for themselves as well. But now, well, the first contact's been made. He's going to fire up as well, but I don't think he's going to survive long over there. But honestly, the Chrono Shield is so overpowered because you can be inside, you can shoot outside, but the people outside cannot shoot you inside. And Jamal, I don't even know how he stayed alive over there. 11 points of HP to work with. Falls back, heals him. Oh my goodness! Nitrox with a nade, an incredible nade. Knocks on 2 players, is going to finish him up as well. And now this is a moment that A might actually be really happy about, because they got that opening, they got those 2 picks, which is going to guarantee 2 points for themselves. And at the same time, they only lost out on 1 player, which is fair. I think it's a fair trade. Sure, it's pretty early, but now they'll have to play it a little slowly. They'll have to take it a little slowly. But nonetheless, we have ALC trying to fight back. Sabir is Oh, what?
I mean, Sabir, he's definitely shouting some let on team number 7, team AE, that is Agent Esports. They're kind of in trouble at the moment. This is a 2v2 right now, Mamba, and I guess they try and want to push forward. We have to remember for a fact that the current changes in meta is because of the change in the points table. Teams really want to go aggressive at this point because placement doesn't give you that much fruit anymore. Nitrox really wants to run away from this fight, and at the moment, Sabir and Zisan, both of them are hot on their tails. They want those 2 kills. They want, I guess, I'm not really sure, blood in the water? That's pretty dark. Let's not go there.
I mean, as long as you're a shark and you smell a drop of blood and you can go for the kill, it doesn't really matter. So ALC getting 2 kills for themselves as well. Lost out on 2 players though, which is quite unfortunate. And I do believe that if you lose out on players this early on, especially half a team, it becomes very difficult for you to survive towards the end. And at this point on, I think they can only either third party if they want to take a fight, or just take it really slow and play it really safe. Because if they go out and try and take a fight or pick a fight with the team, they are definitely going to face 2 men for each of their own, and that's not an easy fight to take. But in the meantime, Cheetah is going to go up. Sadness is going to find 1 frag for himself. Cheetah with an M249 at that range. Are you kidding me? It was actually a knock which happened earlier. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the team number 10, they're pretty badly wounded at this point. Probably only a single player lives. I'm not really sure though, but JB, how many kills did they get? They got 2 kills. Cheetah got 1, and I guess Sadness got 1 as well. But here on some other place, we have team number 3, that is team INF, go up against team number 5. And certainly they've lost a player already. This makes life so much more difficult, but then the favor has been returned because Nobin gets another one. Reminds me of Nobita though, but certainly he's more efficient than Nobita. Or probably he's a Nobita with the Doraemon. I'm not even sure if that the reference makes sense, but team number 3 is definitely peppering team number 5 at this moment. And I just want to see the outcome of this fight. But then I guess the kind of position both of these teams are, they will happily fall back and take a 1-for-1 trade.
For sure, if you can get a 1-for-1 trade, I think that's fair. But obviously, you want to try and take a fight where you can't get traded, and that's the theory of it, right? But then again, I've always said this: even if you have the best game plan in the world, but if you can't execute it properly, it's pointless. It's pointless to even try. But even if you get a 1-for-1 trade, I think that's fair enough. But 7 minutes into the game, we still have all the 12 teams alive, 40 players alive. It's only 8 players have been eliminated from the server. And CYN again, fairly even trade. They've lost out on a player, have a kill. Talk about AE, they have 2 kills, but have also lost out on 2 players. But in the meantime, Sabir is going to find a frag for himself. Fresher is going to get taken down. And that just increases the difficulties for AE because Nitrox is the only player surviving over there. The question is, how long can he survive for? Because, okay then. That was quite cheeky, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty brave enough to just go for kills at this moment because he's the last one standing. Remember, Mama, if you get eliminated at this particular point, all you get is your kill points, and that is going to be 2. And the amount of placement points that you get is going to be 0. So certainly, he's pretty brave, or I would say ballsy in terms of being able to engage in a fight at this moment. But then, I'm not really sure what he's planning, though. Team number 1, they're pretty much aware of the fact that only 1 player survives from Team AE, and they might just be able to capitalize on this particular situation. But, according to me, a Battle Royale should be played passively initially. There's just no point in going for kills. But then, I want to hear your thoughts on that particular opinion.
I think play by your strengths, man. If you have a team which can just go up gung-ho and can knock players out, if you are confident in your fighting abilities or your mechanics, why not, right? In the meantime, look at Nitrox just jumping down. He doesn't care. He's not scared. He wants to go and take that fight. Knocks one out. Can you find one more? Though that is going to be the question. It's going to finish him up, and I think that was pretty smart. And now it's a 1v1. The good thing about this fight was that Nitrox, instead of making the 2v1, he made it 2 1v1s. and he won the first fight. Now he needs to win the second fight. The other player is trying to push him in. He's going to go outside the house and try and get the cover of the glue walls and maybe run away as well. But in the meantime, oh my goodness, he's actually still trying to break the fight. Is it going to win the fight? Though that is going to be the question. Sabir is running around, putting out glue walls. Oh my goodness, that was quite close. That was so close.
I mean, he was so close to getting a squad wipe all by himself. Nitrox, you deserve credit, my man. But then he couldn't really capitalize. I love the fact that he went on and, you know, tried to keep the spacing between him and his opponent. He didn't really want to take a head-on fight initially. He tried to use his movement to his advantage, but couldn't really, you know, pull the final shot perfectly. But nonetheless, I guess we lose one team from this particular server. Certainly there is a lot more action left with 11 teams as well as 37 players in the lobby. Certainly there is going to be a lot of extravaganza. Looking at the circle though, Mama, this is a pretty trivial Bermuda circle, once again covering almost the entirety of it. I wonder where it is going to go in its next edition though, because it is really going to matter. Your rotations are going to matter from this particular point on, because right now you have your loot, you have your information. But when the circle shifts, where do you go? Do you occupy the compounds initially, or you play at the edge of the circle? A lot of factors are going to play in.
That is true. A lot of factors are going to play in, and you know, that's the beauty of a battle royale game as well. Because in a conventional 5v5 setup, for example, even if you're playing Clash Squad, right, it's a 4v4 setup. There are not a lot of variables. You have your money, sure, but you only have 8 players in the servers, and there's only so much these 8 players can do. But imagine 12 teams and 48 players, and every player making his own decision, and that leading to a different outcome. And since you're into space and time, in the meantime, there's a fight going on. Alpha is actually going to be firing up a couple of bullets, just raining lead upon the opposite team. And Dracos, is he going to fall back? Is he going to carry on with the fight? I think he's going to wait it out a bit, because he doesn't need to force the issue over here. And Alpha again just standing right next to his teammate. So the point I was trying to make was, since you're into space and time, every player taking a different decision leads to an alternate reality.
Yeah, I mean, that is the beauty of multiverse. But nonetheless, I guess the Groza is tasting blood at this range once again. GB2L, they're just capitalizing on, I believe that was team number 5. I'm not quite sure. I guess they've been completely aced out of the game. I might be wrong though. They have 3 kills, GB2L. I guess there's still one more player surviving, but nonetheless, we have 3 teams in pretty close proximity here, and team number 3, team number 4, team number 6.
True, pretty close together over there, but Dracus, he's going to be pushing in. He doesn't even have cover. He's going to deploy his glue wall, but 2 players, actually 3 as a matter of fact, players shooting at him, and I don't think he's going to be able to survive for long. In the meantime, Sky is going to try and revive his teammate. Alpha has been knocked down. Dracus barely surviving over there, but he's still keeping up. He's still somehow hanging on behind this tree. 15 points of health to work with. He's going to try and heal himself, but his teammates really need to step it up. They need to push up as well. They need to close in on the distance, because there's only so much they can do from this range.
Certainly, Dracos did a good job though in trying and pushing in. He kind of reserved a lot of territory for his team and created a lot of opening. But then the way team number 3 is positioned, they can actually take this particular fight head on, because there is this uphill task for them to try and go, you know, try and run across this open stretch of land, and that makes life so much more difficult. They have to use the glue walls. And I'm not even sure if you really want to sell your assets in the really first stage of the game. I'm into economics as well, you know, not just astronomy. And I kind of feel that when you have your assets, just keep them, just hold them till your final stage, when it actually hits the peak. And that is when it's going to give you more value than it's going to give right at the start of the game.
That is true. It does give you more value later on, but getting back to the game, the last 6 minutes or so, 6.5 minutes or so, we still have 34 players to work with. And this is when things are actually starting the turn for the Ugly, because when you have so many players and teams alive, it becomes a problem for teams who have less number of players alive. For example, I think we had AE who only had 1 player, but of course they got eliminated. But in the meantime, if you look at team number 1, from Agent, Sabir is the only guy surviving, and for him to stay alive in this mess is going to be practically impossible. But we've seen some incredible clutches coming in. I remember I was casting one tournament, and I think it was the same number as well, team number 1, and 3 of the players got eliminated as the first 3 players on the server. And the man, the last guy standing, still went on to get his team the 2nd position. That's nuts. That's crazy.
That is what you call a single-handed survivor. But nonetheless, I guess he is definitely on the right side of the circle, though. The circle shifting towards peak in Bhima Shakti Strip, certainly not having any part of Bhima Shakti Strip in it. I guess team number 3 and team number 4 are going to have a difficult time entering the circle because the teams that are already in it will get those good compounds. But right now, team JB, they're certainly peppering some bullets on team Musk. And I guess they... Oh my god, Sadness with a final nail in the coffin. He will get Team Mask eliminated in this game, I guess. They're in the 10th position, Mamba. And I guess the amount of points they get is probably just 1 or 2. And that is not a good start to the tournament whatsoever. Elsewhere, I guess team number 2 is kind of in some trouble at the moment because this is team TO, if I'm not really wrong. They're the ones who are engaging in the fight, and at the moment, I guess the snipers are coming to play because 2 aggressors, they've already lost their lives. They're on their knees at the moment, Mamba.
That is true. They're already on their knees, and we have Knock actually, and Loser, who are knocked down. Are they going to be revived? Though I don't think so. Actually, Mola wants to go in and try and revive his teammates. He's actually going to be able to do that. Are you kidding me? Loser might not be able to survive over there. Oh, he's actually going to survive as well. That was quite a clutch coming in from TO. But Mola is going to be in a bad situation. His teammates need to back him up as well. But we have bullets being shot from both sides. Shupan going back. Shifa is going thrown down. He's going to use his launcher, though. That is going to be the question. And he needs to get himself in a better position because if he misses even by an inch, he's going to blow himself off. And you definitely don't want to be in that position. But XN, if we talk about XN, they have a kill. Sure, they have all the players alive as well. So one of the top contenders for a Booyah the first game.
Definitely, with the grenade launcher that they have, if used perfectly, I guess they might just be a contender. Once again, Crips love to call the 4th circle a Thanos circle. We have 29 players to work with, and I guess from the next circle onwards, this number might just get halved. We have fights brewing up everywhere. Just have a look at the minimap, Mamba. Team number 11, team number 1, 8, as well as 2, all perched up in just one single location. How many teams do you think are going to make it out of this particular Battle Royale or Royal Rumble, whatever you want to call it? I think only one of them is just going to be the survivor, and that's probably going to be team number 2 or team number 11.
You just quoted how Battle Royales function, my man.
Oh. Let's go.
Let's go. I think maybe 4 teams will survive this zone, and we'll see the last 4 teams battle out from zone 5 to 7, and we'll probably have a winner by the end of the zone. I think zone 6, midway through zone 6. But if you talk about TMZ, he's going to try and wait it out over there. He knows Sabir is right behind the glue wall. We breaks the glue wall, but trying to break it the second time as well. But is Sabir going to survive? I don't think so. I mean, he's being shot at from 2 different directions, but Saif is actually going to find that frag. And quite unfortunate for the first player who was shooting at him. But if you talk about GB2L, they have 3 kills, all the 4 players alive. So it looks like momentum is definitely in their favor. So is the confidence. But the nades have started pouring in. They do have cover, but not a lot. And they need to move in as well. Because the zone is going to start pushing them inside. And look at this. We have Jawbreakers being eliminated. 7 teams live, 26 players in total. So I did underestimate the amount of teams that would survive the last round.
Certainly, we still have 7 teams alive, and I really love the fact how team number 11 is just pushing forth. They're brute forcing their way in just completely outside the circle with the use of the grenade launcher as well as their weaponry. Team EXE, though, they have this house, the mansion house in peak for themselves, but how long will they be able to hold on? That is a question, because they have a lot of teams who are trying to bid for this particular house that is up for auction right now. EXE Kazi, he want to push forth with team number 4 out there. I guess this makes things very much more difficult, but EXE Kazi, he will get 2. And right now with 4 kills, team EXE is also a contender, Mama, for the Booyah at the moment. Zico will get another one probably for him. Hakim is out there, and as well as Zico with the shotgun, he takes another one out. And this just makes life so much more difficult for the surrounding team, because team number 6, they have so much more control over the zone itself. Team number 9, they're trying to push forth with using the glue walls. Mola with the Groza is out there as well.
That is true, but Mola has been the MVP for his team. Had he not been around to revive his teammates, I don't think his team would have survived up until this point in the top 3. So he's definitely the MVP for his team. Even though they don't have a lot of kills, he's going to try and shoot a couple of bullets towards EXE, but are they going to survive? The glue wall breaks down. He does get a knock, so he might actually end up getting a kill as well. Firing bullets at one more player. Kazi trying to push in, and we do have the Chrono Shield being deployed, trying to revive his teammate, but I don't think that is going to last for a very long time. And over here, TO is one of the 2 teams surviving. 6 players alive, 3v3 if I'm not mistaken. And voila, look at this. This is the beauty of this game. Even though TO only has 1 kill, they still managed to get inside the top 2. And now Kunuk actually has been knocked down. Mola's going to try and shoot down, but 7-7 MD is going to go in And is it going to be able to survive this fight? That is going to be the question. Knock is going to get eliminated. We have 2 players from 2. Oh! Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, both of those shotguns screaming kills. This is nuts, Mamba. I didn't see this coming. Team 1 man. How did they manage those? Booyah, they had 1 kill up front in the final circle.
I have no clue how this happened, honestly, because the moment Knog got knocked out, I assumed that team might actually stand second and they might knock at the Booyah, but the last 2 frags, this shotgun is so crazy. It's not in short range, even up until medium range or mid range, you can get kills, you can get 2 taps, and I think that's crazy. And it works really well if you know how to use it, especially in the last circle. And I do believe that towards the end of the game, the 4th, 5th, 6th circle, the DMRs work really well as well. So you take the Woodpecker or the SVD, they can chew through glue walls like it's a hot knife through butter.
Yes, definitely. We're going to look at the highlights pretty quick, but I'm just still not over the fact that Team Tio pulled that one off. But this was really good one. Nitrox getting 2 kills for his team. This was one of the first fights that we saw in this game, Mamba. And I just loved it how both these 2 teams just kind of coordinated. It went on to a 2v2 finally. Both Sabir, Zissan, as well as the players from the other opposition team, both of them played really well. I wonder where they are in the points table though.
Well, we'll figure that out where they are in the points table. But if we talk about AE over here, this was quite interesting because Nitrox, he stayed alive. He almost wiped out the entire squad, got the 3rd kill as well, but just could not find the 4th kill, and that's quite unfortunate because look at this. He survived. He chased down the final player, the 4th and the final player. The glue wall worked out really well in Sabir's favor, and Sabir knew that if he gets that glue wall down in time, then the last player surviving for AE has to reload, and that is where he came out. So the sense of timing was really, really good. But if we talk about this fight, look at this. If you have 3 players shooting at you, no amount of blue wall is actually going to be able to help you out over there. But Knock, here's the situation, right? Knock stays here, he gets a knock, but then the nail launcher comes in, 2 players get knocked down, then Mola goes in. This was going to be a 2v4 situation, but Mola goes in and revives those players, and at the end of the day, they end up getting a booyah, which is quite crazy if you ask me.
The strength of character or the mindset which Mola displayed was absolutely brilliant. Kazi was really up there at the very top in this particular fight. He knew that he had to eliminate team number 4 to progress forward, and he did that exactly. Dealing a lot of damage, coming back to the coming back undercover, and then just charging it right at the exact moment. Zico, as well as all the players from Team EXE, they just wonderfully lined up. Just have a look at it. They have 6 kills already. I wonder how many did they get till the match ended though. But this was exactly the moment where things really came to a standstill. Mola was up there leading his team with only 1 kill. He was up against a team who had 6 or 7 kills. That was really insane. But just have a look how strong they are. In spite of being in the low ground, they kept on sharding bullets because they knew that even if they managed 1 kill, that is going to be enough. Zico gets another one, probably the final one, who was final player from another team who was still standing. But then this is exactly the moment where what we just... I'm at surprise, you're at surprise, both of us we're both in the same page.
But then again, I'm not as surprised because I came in with 0 expectations. I knew that today, at least the first day, we are going to see a lot of extreme performances. We'll see teams playing really, really well, and we'll see some teams just dropping the ball. So it really depends because these guys have been yearning a platform like this for a very long time. And when you actually have it in your hands, when you're actually playing at this level, it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy. And I've not participated maybe in a tournament like FFBC, but given the amount of pressure that the fans will also have been putting onto these teams, it's difficult. Yeah. And even though it was the first game, it was quite entertaining. And we saw teams fighting with conviction. They were not scared. Especially, I think the fight when AE was about to be eliminated, but the last player actually getting 3 kills. That was really, really good. So we saw players fight with conviction instead of just holding themselves back a little. And this is something that I want to see more of because I enjoyed this brand of Free Fire.
Yeah, certainly. I guess all of these teams are here to fight for the title. No one is just here to prove themselves. Yes, definitely, they will have to prove themselves. Eventually, they want to take the title for themselves, that they're the champions of Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. That is that is a pretty big tag against your name. And if you have that, I guess it's just absolutely brilliant. And all these players, they know it and they're just showing up according to it. Once again, we'll move on to the next game. And I'm excited as you are, Mamba. This is going to be Purgatory. And once again, this is one of my favorite maps, to be honest, because with so much open spaces around, and then Brasilia being a city, perched up with compounds, this map is just so topsy-turvy. You can't even predict what's going to happen. And definitely this provides an opportunity with teams who couldn't really step up in the first game, show themselves in this one.
That is true. But looking at the drops again, we have 2 teams going towards Moraus. We have one team going towards Crossroads as well. But talk about that team, right? Team One Man. They've just been absolutely crazy in terms of their performance, because they showed restraint, they showed courage, and they showed patience as well at the same time. Because being in a situation when you're 2 men down and then pushing up, knowing how risky it is, Mola was definitely the MVP for the last game for me. Even if he did not have any kills, I don't care. But he is the reason why his team was actually going to go out and get that booyah for him for themselves.
True, you need players who have the strength of mind, who are really have the mindset of true leaders, and I guess Mola is one of those players. The fact that he didn't really give up when 2 of his teammates were down on their knees just goes to show how much he actually cares about that Free Fire is a team game, and we need all our 4 players if we have to win in the final circle, and that is the right mentality to have proceeding towards such a big tournament like this. And I guess this mentality that they have, this unity that they have, is going to help them in the long run.
That is true. This mentality definitely helps, because see, I believe that consistency doesn't come from good performances, but it really comes in from decision making. You can have as many fights as you want, and by good performance I meant taking those fights in terms of mechanics as well. So good mechanical performance does not guarantee you consistency. It's your decision making process that is what guarantees you consistency. Because if you're having a good day and you're feeling confident that, hey man, you know what, I'm going to take this fight, I'm actually going to win this fight, even if it's a 50-50, chances are that you might lose it, because at the end of the day it's a 50-50 fight, right? You're having a fight in the open, you have no clear advantage, and if you lose that fight, that is when you start losing confidence, and you don't want to be in a position like that. So even if you're having a good day, be disciplined, and you'll see consistency in your results.
True. Being disciplined is really, really important. Let's talk a bit about the drops, though. We can see so many teams kind of dense towards the eastern edge of the map, the far eastern edge. This is not even campsite, Mama. This is towards Forge. We have team number 4. We have probably team number 6. We have team number 5 in Ski Lodge. We have team number 3 proceeding towards campsite. And I'm not really sure how to react to this, because generally teams do like to perch up in Brasilia. One or the other teams, they'd still love to go towards fields or campsite. But this one, with 2 or probably even 4 teams at Forge initially, this is kind of crazy for me. I've never seen Purgatory play out this way, but certainly GB2L Alpha finds himself on the receiving end of some shots, and eventually his kill will be confirmed. This is EXC 77 Emo. I'm not really sure if that's the name right, but he is the one who got the first blood in this game.
That is true. He is the one who got the first blood in this game, and we've only lost out on a player, so not a lot of action. Even though we did hear a couple of shots being fired,
yeah.
But all in all, not a lot of action happening in the first one, at least in the first 5 minutes. But what I want to see is teams who got knocked out early on in the last game be a little more aggressive and not let that affect you. Because I think this is my personal philosophy when it comes down to competing in a situation like this, or on a platform like this. If your first game is bad, doesn't matter, forget it. Just focus on the next one and play like champions. Play like you've already won like 5 editions of FFBC in a row. And that mindset helps you when you're scared of maybe taking a fight, when you should be taking a fight, and not be overprotective of yourself. But looking at the scoreboard, we do have... Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Extreme EX on top with 19 points, and then Team One Man with 15 points. Even though they did get the booyah, they are still with a 4-point deficit compared to Team number 1.
Yep, I told you this current meta is all about kills at the moment. When you get 1 point for kills and 12 point for per booyah, this just makes life so much more difficult for the players because they can no more rely on placement points for being consistent on the points table. They have to go in for the kills. I'm not really saying being overly aggressive, but definitely some kills do help. And Team One Man, they got 3 kills in the last game. Team Extreme EX, they got 7, and there's a big difference. 4-point difference. That is exactly what is visible up front. And I guess that just goes to show how the game is still evolving with just a slight change in the points table. The game style, the play style for so many of these teams is going to change, and eventually I guess they will have to adapt if they have to win.
That is true. They will have to adapt if they want to win. And you can't be stagnant. You cannot be stagnant with your strategy or your approach with the game. And we can see the meta evolves, right? Players change, their mentalities change, and if you don't want to evolve with that meta, with the new changes, you're going to get stagnant, and people and teams are going to walk all the way. And we've seen that happen. We've seen some good teams who are not. I wouldn't place them in tier 1, but they were still good teams. Okay, they were really, really good. And they came out, they walked over the best of the best teams in the Indian region as well. And I believe that's the same story with every single region that has competitive tournaments going on. And we're going to see that in FFBC as well as the tournament progresses. We're going to see a lot of changes coming in. But in the meantime, look at that. Look at Kingsman just not being scared, even though he saw a nade coming. He knew that it's not going to damage him. But Cheetah might just push in. Now, the question is he actually going to notice that? Are the players inside the house going to notice that Cheetah is pushing from outside? Has it been spotted? I think he has. He has actually been spotted. He's going to wait it out. Oh, he does have duel back there. Tries to jump up and shoot, but the next time he jumps, he's going to have a shotgun shout down his face, and that is interesting. Norman did try to peek him, but that was quite late.
Certainly, that was quite late. I'm a real big fan of flanks, but then at this point, Cheetah, he couldn't really press the kill switch because when you're trying to be sneaky behind, you have to position yourself in such a way that you get at least 1 kill and open things up for your team. When you don't really get that and your position has been revealed, things just get so much more difficult. But then look at Team JB. This is, I guess, Nayam Alam, if I pronounce that name right. He's the one, he has to close in. At the moment, this is a 3v4 inside the compound, and certainly things are in the favor of team number 3. But then if the grenades pop in and bring an opening, I guess things can really work towards team number 8. At the moment, Sadness will still try and hold his ground. All of these players, they're trying to play the waiting game. They know how really important an opening is, an opening frag is, and that is all that they'll work for. Elsewhere in the map, we have Kazi versus team number we have EXE versus team number 6 going on, and certainly a kill has been got. I guess that was the fight which we were seeing earlier. Nonetheless, this is going to be Zeeko, and he will capture a kill for himself. This is team GB2L, and certainly this is not a team I know to succumb initially.
That is true, but look at that. 77 MD getting a kill for himself. 11 teams, 44 players alive, and EXE with 4 kills already. That's quite a start.
Wow.
To be fair, that's a really, really good start. Given the fact that the only 4 players who have been eliminated from the server came in from them, has to be a good feeling. But apart from that, JB over here is playing pretty safe. But we do have Cheetah who's been playing very up close and personal. But is he going to fall back? That is going to be the question. He does actually fall back. I believe he had a decent position, but he did not have a lot of information, and that is the reason why he fell back. But I think JB does have a pretty good setup over here to try and lock down the enemy team. Oh! Shyamwao is going to get knocked down. Is he going to get eliminated though? We have one more nade going in. Freak has a Kar 98 in his hand. Oh my goodness! What? No way. No way.
No. I can't believe my eyes, Mama. What just happened? Freak eliminated 3 players with a single grenade, and the final player, he's just running away for his life. Probably there was Cheetah who got the last frag, but oh my word, Freak. How good are you with grenades? How have you been practicing those tosses? I wonder. He certainly knows a lot about the formulas of trajectory and range. He's been working it out perfectly.
Let me be honest, trigonometry was not my favorite subject.
Exactly, because this is physics, Mama, and certainly, I guess we both need to work it out for ourselves. But this is going to be another fight. Team number 7 versus team number 10. I feel that both these two teams are kind of in an awkward situation. They do have weapons to work with. This Fearless goes down, and that is Mask Boys who take 1 kill for themselves. And right now, with 3 players to work with, I wonder what Team AE has in store.
New kill leader.
Well, we'll figure that out what they have in store, because the last time they couldn't perform that well. But JB, for now, they have 5 kills, and they're doing really, really well, because those nades which came in and the way they cleared out the compound, I think that says a lot about the team and the composure, because they were patient. They did not overcommit. They did not overpeak. But talking about the match MVP, Mola, well, obviously, he had to be the MVP, even though he only had 2 kills. One, those 2 revives over there, those were really crucial. And of course, his team got the booyah as well. And congratulations. So I actually didn't think that Mola would get the match MVP, because I mentioned a couple of times, in my eyes, he's the MVP. But turns out his stats are the best. And our team agrees with the fact that he made some really, really incredible plays.
True, I guess it's not just about kills, it's not just about statistics, it's about how you carry yourself throughout the entire game, and Mola did it like a leader. Once again, I'm a big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's the one who has the greatest self-belief out of all the athletes out there. Mola was kind of the same over there. The way he carried on with his teammates, brought them back to life, and together deployed a strategy to take down Team EXE. That was absolutely brilliant. And right now we have things blowing up, because team number 11, that is Team Electro, they find themselves in a fight with team number 1, I believe. And team number 1 definitely didn't have a good start in the last game. This match, they have to capitalize. Team number 11, first up, outside the compound, Zishan trying to spray down this player. Will he get him? He does get sapped. And I believe that the kill might just be capitalized at this point. Team Agent, though, they've lost 2 players. Both of them are on their knees at the moment. Sabir steps up. He needs to save his teammate, and does that. He takes down 1 player. I believe it is TMZ. Taff has been taken down as well. 2 kills for Team ALC. But what can be the outcome of this entire fight? This is far from over, Mamba.
This is definitely not over, but we have ELC Shuo, Electro Shuo, the only person surviving for his team, and he had a nade in his hand, but now he has a drop beacon as well. So I'm not sure what his entire idea is over here, but if it does go outside in the open, the only thing that is going to happen to him is that he's going to be put 6 feet down under the ground in a grave, or maybe he finds a car and he runs away, but the car is going to explode as well. So it's going to be a tough situation for him to survive in, but he's still surviving. He's still trying to make it work, which is a massive surprise to me.
Certainly. I guess the fact that he ran away just helped his team kind of get at least some placement points. But just as I say that, I guess we have a thing called Caster's Curse. And just as I say that he did the right thing, he just got eliminated. And nonetheless, we have a fight brewing up between Team JB, who was pretty close to the compound where Team number 11 and Team number 1 were fighting. And right now, with the amount of gunshots that they hear, I guess they will be smelling some blood in the water. They would want to go in and get the kills, but at the moment, I guess they're falling back. They know that reserving compounds and getting themselves some real estate is going to be really important, at least at the start of the game. We still have 31 teams. We still have 31 players, my bad, in this lobby. So definitely, this match is far from over, and Team JB would really want to go deep into this game. They really need those points if they want to get their consistency right. And I guess that is exactly what they want to do. At this point, I guess I would really love to have a look at the circle, Mamba, because I want to hear your thoughts. I feel that Brasilia is out of the circle, and if that is the case, then it just makes things so much more interesting with the bridges, with the banks, with the streams. The Battle Royale, it's just going to explode.
It is definitely going to explode, and given the fact that there is a river dividing the islands into 3 parts, I think that's going to be the most interesting thing, because you never know where the circle is going to end up, because if it's only 2 parts or 2, land masses, you can easily predict where the zone is going to be, because so imagine if the river is dividing the circle into 3 parts. So whatever the 2/3 part of the landmass is, that is where the next circle is going to go. But when you have 3 parts, now that is when things start getting really tricky. So I can't really predict the zone, but Naeem Alam is actually going to shoot, but he's going to only be able to land a couple of shots, which is not going to be enough to knock down the player in front of him. But Sadness is going to go and try and save himself from the nades coming up. But Cheetah's trying to break the wall. The nade. Oh! Actually, it's a flashbang, but for a moment, I thought he missed it, but then I realized that he did not miss it. He just wanted to throw it there.
Yep, absolutely. Ali, he gets 1 on Blade at the moment, but at this particular fight, I guess this is a triple threat, or not even a triple threat. This is a Royal Rumble going on because team number 8, team number 5, team 12, team 1, team 6. It's a rainbow going on my mini map currently, and I can't even decipher which team is fighting whom because right now team number 5 with 2 players surviving. I just don't know how do they get inside the circle with so many teams gatekeeping them. It's just going to be a mission impossible. But look at team number 8. They have some compounds inside the circle. They can perch up close together. But how can team 5 make it work? Wherever they go, they will find players. JB on the other side, they're just racking up their kills at the moment. They have 6 already. I guess they have 2 more knocks. Nonetheless, team EXE is up there as well. The kill feed is just going mad at the moment.
That is true. It is just going mad at the moment, and that is what happens in the Thanos circle as Chris so appropriately named it. Oh, okay. Then Zizan is actually going to find a frag for himself, and he's going to try and knock down the next player, but is he going to be able to do that? That's going to be the question. Shriek in the meantime just spamming the K9 shots onto the player, is raining havoc onto TXP and his teammate over there, Hamim and his teammate over there. So it's going to be a question of how long can they survive over there, and if not, if they're going to be able to get out of there, because I don't see them getting out of that compound anytime soon.
Certainly. Mama, I would really love to focus on the circle right now because just have a look at the circle. No team is really inside, and they know for a fact that if they don't participate in these fights, they can't really make it inside. But this is team number 8, and they know that they have a vehicle with them, and that is exactly what they're doing. They're trying to cross the bridge, but instead they will find themselves right in front of team number 2, and I guess this just makes life so much more difficult. They're caught out in the open. They might get shot from the back, but then they might get shot from the front as well because team number 2 is out there. But this is going to be T.O. Kunok, and the player who didn't really deliver in the first game is delivering right now because I guess he will get a kill for himself. Team number 2 is in some trouble. The circle might just end up on the bridge, and this is so interesting. What can we expect, Mama? We can expect a few of those players dropping down to the river, but then oh my god, this is probably the 5th and the final circle because I don't think this game is going to go more than extend anymore. Just have a look at it. Team number 2, they probably won't be able to enter the circle. Team number 9, they are so wide open. Even if they try and move in, this is just going to be absolutely impossible.
That is true. It's going to be absolutely impossible. We have 14, 15 players. Chief Father is going to find a kill for himself, actually knocking one player out. Kazi has been eliminated, and XN is in pristine position right now. There's 6 kills, all the 4 players alive. Chupon with the SVD trying to find a kill for himself, actually getting 2 more kills for the team. And XN surviving with 8 kills and all the 4 players. I think they practically have the booyah in their hands because they have the bridge, they have the edge of the zone, and the only place where they can't really fight right now is under the bridge where there is nobody. Shupa in the meantime just firing as quickly as he can with the SVD alongside his teammate. Alamin is going to find a kill onto Sabir, and Agent is still surviving. So we've seen Agent try and play really well.
Yeah, certainly. We've seen Asian do really good, but at this moment, it just gets so much more difficult. The glue walls do pop up, but how long can those glue walls protect themselves? That is a question. This is Team XN, and right now they would want to move in, but then the grenade launcher comes out. Shifak falls on his knees. This is Zico. He gets 3 with the grenade lined up all together. He has probably cleaned up an entire team all by himself. Team number 2, they find themselves in a very good position, but then team number 6, they're right underneath, and this is going to be a duel. Team number 2, team number 6. This is a 4v2 or probably a 3. Okay, so we have a 4v2 right now. The third and the final player from another team, he got eliminated, and right now 77MD and Zico, all of them are there, but I'm not really sure how many glue walls they have. 77MD has 1. Not really enough to work things up with, but he has the grenade launcher. I believe Team EXE have the grenade launcher. With 1 shot, they can completely obliterate team number 2, and I guess that is what they're doing. Zico gets 1, and right now 77MD will just rush in. Will he get the kill? I'm not really sure. I guess another one goes down with the play zone. 77MD gets another one. I guess EXE get the booyah. Mamba. Oh. I'm gonna lose my lungs. I'm gonna lose my lungs. I'm gonna lose my heart. But certainly Team EXE, they're not gonna lose the match.
That is true. And you better start looking for insurance for your lungs in your throat, because that was intense. The last fight was intense, and especially the last one we won. It was incredible to see the composure they had, the kind of strategy they executed as well. Pure class. Beautiful to watch.
certainly they did not have a lot of glue walls to work with. That grenade launcher was really that ace card, and they played it out perfectly. I remember one shot where Team EXE cleared out 3 players with one shot. That was just absolutely, I mean, I don't even have words. But then we'll move on to the highlights. We'll look at these moments once again, and I hope that I'll be less excited watching them once again, but I can't really make sure about that. This is Team EXE once again. They had 3 kills right from the get-go. They eliminated GB too well. This is a team that I've been looking out for, considering their approach. But then this grenade, Mama, I hope you remember how Freak just turned into an absolute freak there.
There's definitely no chance that I would be able to forget that grenade. What I'm really surprised about is the fact that the grenade wasn't even cooked. Had it been a cooked grenade, it would have been better, but it wasn't cooked. The players did not move out even then, and that is what surprises me the most. But Freak had a really good game. He connected these follow-up shots really well as well with the sniper, those nade kills, and all in all, played really, really well for the team. But this fight where ALC was fighting up against Electro, they tried their best. Let's just say they tried their best. A lot of damage was done, but at the end of the day, Jamal got knocked down. Ornob was about to be eliminated, but he got revived. And ALC did try to come out on top after a very long back and forth fight, but we know what happened. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as it looks. Shabir got knocked down over there, but then again, XN over here with the kind of attack they had with so many DMRs, and I did mention it from zone 4 to zone 6. DMRs can chew through walls like a hot knife through butter. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. These DMRs, they're lethal at this particular range, and this is what most of the teams are really opting for. They opt for the shotguns in the final circle, and most of the times it's all about the DMRs and the sniper rifles. But then this is the fight where things really went down the wire. They had the grenade launcher. This is Zico who had the grenade launcher, and he pops those grenades up. He didn't really connect in the first iteration, but then he knew the 77 MD had to push up to kind of throw out the defense, the defensive formation the team number 2 had. Once again, Zico getting shot with the grenade launcher. This is 77 MD. He will push through. One play goes down the play zone, and with the 1v1 that MD did win in the final second, it was just absolutely interesting. I would love to see what is the points table like at this particular point here on, but I must say teams have been showing up in Free Fire Bangladesh Championship big time.
They've definitely showed up, and they've definitely stamped their authority as well. This is what we expected, or at least this is what I wanted the teams to do, because I don't want to see conservative Free Fire where, it's a big tournament. Sure, you want to play it safe, take it slow. Don't do that. Entertainment is all it's about, but also at the same time, confidence, and of course how much faith you have in your own abilities to execute what you've planned. But of course, we're going to talk a lot more about this, but right now it's time for a really, really short break. Do not go any চলে আসছে এবং লাস্টের দিকে
time है जो एलिमिनेट এমপিআর চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টের দিকে নিয়ে টাইমে জন্য এলিমিনেট
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship 2021. My name is Crips, and joining me for the next few games is going to be Floki. Well, we have had an amazing 2 games so far, but we still have a lot more games in store for you guys. So I hope you guys have your popcorn ready, have your coffees or whatever beverage you guys prefer on the side, because this is about to be one hell of a ride.
Absolutely, and Bermuda and Purgatory, one of my favorites, or rather 2 of my most favorite maps in the game. I know there are only 3, but yeah, those are my top 2. I'm excited to see what meta these teams have developed over the course of these few games. I saw the first 2 games, and I had the opportunity to see Team One Man win the first game, and I believe Team Xenon miss out, on a booyah because of a clutch by, their opponent. So that was quite unfortunate. But yeah, the match screens are in front of us: Bermuda followed by Purgatory, and I have to say, Bermuda and Purgatory, they are somewhat similar in the sense that, if you drop towards the center, there's of course going to be high rewards, but the place in the center can often be hard to hold. On Purgatory, the reason why the center place is so hard to hold is because Brasilia, once you occupy a compound, they're very, very easy to defend. Compare that to Bermuda, where the center is Peak and Bhima Shakti Strip. And what ends up happening is that because like those areas can be very hard to defend, people tend to not drop there. Or even if people do drop there, they often end up being contested. Which is why I really like the way Bermuda and Purgatory are designed. I think there's always that punishing aspect of dropping in the center, which don't really see, I don't really find to be the case on Kalahari.
Yeah, Kalahari is a completely different map, and it's like a completely different ball game. Luckily, we won't be having any Kalahari games today because it's all just Bermuda and Purgatory, so it's mostly simple. So we will have those vast open greenlands and lush forests, but we won't really be having any deserts and sandy dunes. So I guess that does take away a little bit of tactical element because most of the teams will have to compete on similar terrain. Urban warfare could become the flavor of the game anytime, and of course sometimes the circle goes towards the water and the bridges, which is a rare circumstance, but we got to see that in the previous game. And it was actually pretty exciting to see because the bridge finishes are always very turbulent. You can never really predict what's going to go on. So those are the kind of games I love. I love it when, the circle screws over almost every team and makes them wonder, oh my God, what do I do now? So yeah, that's the kind of stuff I like. I like throwing them under the water or under the bus, whatever.
Under the water, that's a good one because Bermuda does have a lot of water, and so does Purgatory. One of the things I've noticed about these 2 maps is, especially, is many a times you just be in that position where you're on a high ground and then you have to go from the high ground to the low ground, like you've mentioned. Now, bridge finishes in particular are very interesting for this reason because if the circle ends up closing in on the water, then all of a sudden the player on the bridge has a big disadvantage because he needs to jump down, while the player downstairs probably has a surfboard already and has his aim perched up. So the only things that remain consistent over the course of multiple maps is the way you aim and how quickly you can rotate to the center of the circle without taking a lot of damage or without revealing your position, without losing out on too much. And that is what's going to make the big difference. Now, we're going to be jumping into the game right here, right away. First map, of course, or rather the third map is going to be Bermuda. First map for us because it's the first map we're casting. But yeah, the plane, I'm interested to see what the flight path is. We will quickly be having a look, but it seems like it's taking off on Shipyard, and it will be going towards Rimna Village. Now, this is very interesting, Trips. My guess is we're not going to see a lot of teams go towards Sentosa either.
Oh, yeah, I mean, even getting to places like Pochinok and Kota to us seems very difficult at this point. Luckily, the high-tier loot zone is in Cape Town, so again, that's an area I don't think most teams will go to because simply the plane path doesn't allow them to. And this is actually a pretty rare plane path, Loki. We usually see the plane path just going right through the center, bisecting the map, but this time it's heavily skewed towards the left-hand side. So
Yeah.
that makes things a little interesting because the teams won't get to go to their desired locations. If they do want to go far away, they'll probably have to drop down, get into some vehicles, and then work their way up from there. But other than that, yeah, I don't see any of that happening in a game like this.
And as a result of the flight path too, Chris, as we saw, the southeast quadrant of the map was completely unoccupied. No teams in Pochinok, no teams in Kotatua, no teams in Mars Electric, no teams in Factory. This is gonna mean we're gonna see lots of early engagements brewing out over here, and there's one on the screen already. Now, at Mill, Kazi, he's been caught out, Crips, and I don't think this ends well for him. Was passed well in front of his head, and he's gonna go down. So looks like Team XCE will have to work with a disadvantage right off the bat. Not the spot you want to be in, but it is the spot that they find themselves in. And yeah, they're gonna have to be walking without an arm or a leg, take your pick, and trying to make their way towards the center of the circle when it does show.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for the center of the circle to show up. So for now, their only objective is to survive, get kitted up, and hopefully not lose their players very early on. Alpha's pretty low on health, and he did take a little bit of damage. Luckily, he did not get completely knocked out, so that's something that he will be very thankful for. But because they're running out of resources this early, just in an attempt to get out of here, I am kind of worried about Team GB2L right now. Because they got into this early game fights and they did not even have a chance to loot up, they will be lacking resources like glue walls and med kits and whatnot. Yet they can rely on their chrono shields, but for how long?
Yeah, I mean, look at the players. Some of them don't even have vests. At least the last person I saw did not. There you go. The Cruz, he has no helmet, no vest. One of the players has no vests at all. So they're going to be popping quite easily at any distance, regardless of the weapon. Now, unless, of course, you have something like SMGs and shotguns, my statement makes no sense. But as long as you're working with something like an assault rifle, an XM8, an M14, AK-47, all of those weapons should be shredding these players. And yeah, that team, they're going to have to really think about that, because this means that they don't get to take these early engagements. They probably don't get to, have their pick of the map when the circle shows himself. It's going to take a lot of foresight for them to get into a good position and hold. So they have a decision to make now. It is, do they rotate early and do they try to get inside the circle, or what is it that they try to do?
Inside the circle, I'm not sure, because I don't think these two teams will get to go over there in the first place. They're trapped over here, especially Kingsman from Team INF. Poor guy got knocked out, and there's nobody next to him to revive him. He was caught off guard with his teammates very far away, and I feel like Nibir might just go in for a little bit of disrespect by trying to kill him with a melee weapon. In fact, he decides on trying to shoot Santo instead, so I guess that is a wiser choice. 2 knocks are better than 1.
Yeah,
he's not able to land the shots just yet, but then that's nice, because at least Bilal will be able to finish him off.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little surprising. He didn't scope in with his rifle at that distance. I believe he would have done that, but unfortunately, not quick thinking in the nick of time, probably nerves, they get to you and can end up affecting your performance. And that's another factor we don't talk about very often. When you're in these sorts of early fights, the nervousness has to be up, because many a times when you participate in squads or something, you're more used to, dropping at your preferred places, staying there, holding them off. You don't practice going into each and every location on each and every part of the map and trying to play it out. That's takes a ton of practice to do that. So, I mean, there's an element of, having stuck around together for a long time and having practiced more games and having practiced defending your drops as well, which when you have to drop in a different place, all that practice can go out of the window. So, as a result, I mean, many of these teams, they just end up in the spot where they have to take early engagements, and none of them really look very comfortable doing that.
Yeah, and Floki, building up on your point, this is a very long tournament. It's going to go on for 9 days, this league stage. So I'm pretty sure that sometime or the other, many teams will end up contesting the same drop location. And over the course of the 9 days, one of them will have to move away from that drop location, because you can't afford to pick up early game fights every time, right? You can't win every time. So you need those secondary drop locations. You need backups. And that's where all this practice really starts to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I think even more than that, if you're a team that's fluid, if you're a team that is dynamic, if you've built up your fundamentals, if you know how you can rotate early on, if you know how to use your resources well, if you know where other teams are going to be locating, and you have someone like a scout keeping track of where everyone has dropped, you can try and triangulate which positions on the map are going to be empty early on. And, if you're quickly able to rotate to those places that are empty, for example, in this game, it was Pochinok, Peak, Cape Town, that was severely uncontested. If you can get to those places before the enemy team, you get your hands on a lot of loot, especially on maps where the plane path is skewed like this. If it wasn't skewed
Yeah.
just the way it was, I believe we'd see a lot more even drops. But because it was so skewed, a huge section of the map goes unignored, and that's just a big problem. I mean, it's a big shame because teams just never really get themselves hands on good loot.
Yeah, that's true. And it does change things. I think the only team who was actually, patient enough to go all the way outside and try to loot up is Team GB12. We saw them engage in an early battle towards the northwestern part of the map, but then they made their way towards Cape Town in a very safe way. So that's nice. Although I can't say the Team Infinity are safe over here. We saw them lose their player Kingsman towards Shipyard early on. And now that the remaining two players have rotated away from Shipyard and they're close to Plantation, they once again run into trouble.
Yeah, I mean, just 2v4s, the odds don't exactly favor them, so they're gonna have to scurry away and find themselves a place to hide until, the hunters come sniffing around, and then they're gonna have to run probably, maybe turn around and fight. You see the preys become predators. But the best course of action for Team INF is to try and find a place where they think the circles are gonna go over. Maybe, if they're able to find that place and stay and, get a little bit lucky, they can hold on for a little while longer and get themselves some really sweet kill points. Because remember, at the end of the day, in this particular mode, kill points are what's going to make the difference. Like, if you are able to third party or fourth party a team that is taking a fight, and you're able to win those, you're going to have so many points. Because if you manage to eliminate them, not only are you securing placement points for yourself, but you're also securing kill points. So all those tend to rack up. And at a position that Team INF is in, they're going to have to track of those kill points in order to try and get to a high place. But yeah, Griff seems to be caught by surprise. What is it that catches your fancy?
Oh, that was a lovely shot by Jamil over there. And he's going up close and personal with a Thompson against a double vector. Luckily, his teammate Zisan is able to cover him. And what a lovely flick by Jamil to finish off Team Masked. Masked boys are the first team to get aced out in this game. And we have a new kill leader. It is Team Agent TXP.
Yeah, Team Agent TXP with quadra kills. They are going to be quite happy with the place they find themselves in Cthulhu's Tower, with all 4 players still standing and 7 kills to their name. Yeah, I mean, I believe that, when you find yourself in this spot, you can just continue holding on, especially the place where they are at. They have a fair amount of high ground and they have a place that they can watch over. But eventually they will have to worry about some teams closing in from somewhere else. So if they could get themselves towards hard cover, that would of course be ideal for them. Now over here towards Clock Tower, Cribs, there seems to be Team 12 and Team 11 eyeing each other up, but I do not see a lot of Team 12 members looking over the same place. They have 2 different sniper towers, and I have to say I am not a huge fan of occupying sniper towers because they can be so easily punished with grenades.
Yep, you're right. But because they're split up into 2 different towers, maybe the grenades won't be as effective because you're not going to be able to stand directly underneath and have the luxury of throwing them. The team from the other sniper tower can obviously pick you off while you do so. But over here,
Yep.
team number 11 has the high ground, so they should be able to land headshots pretty easily. So far, we have Team Extreme X on top. Team Xenon, who did finish second in the previous game, they are at 31 points. Much higher than Team One Man, who did manage to win the Booyah in the first game.
Yeah, it seems that you really need to make sure you get your kills right, because if you do, you can end up in the top spot like Team Extreme X. I mean, they've been playing phenomenally so far to be able to get themselves 41 points over the course of 2 games. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's equivalent to getting 3 first-place finishes. I mean, just goes on to show how rewarding the aggressive play style can be in this mode. But the aggression also has to be timed. If you are gonna be aggressive right from minute 1, get yourself, I don't know, 8 to 12 kills, and then be eliminated in 8th place, yeah, those kills are not gonna make that much of an impact. But if you carry out the same aggression when you're in the 4th and 5th spot, and then you're able to secure yourselves 5 to 6 kills, all of a sudden your position shoots up. But over here, it seems that Shifad is gonna get knocked down, and so is Anonto. That sniper rifle doing a lot of work from Zisan. Let's see if he can continue the streak and he can continue landing those sweet shots, because yeah, at this rate he certainly is forcing out a lot of resources from Team Xenon.
Oh, Xenon, they lost 2 of their players to Nox, but they respond in such style. They're able to knock down Agent Shabir and finish him off as well. Luckily, Team Xenon were able to revive most of their teammates. Yeah, sure, they'll be running low on meds and armor, but The way they were able to confirm a kill just puts them at an instant 3 versus 4 advantage. And now the ball is in Team Agent's court. They're about to breach this warehouse compound. They've been spotted. Shepard, he saw them both. He deploys a chrono shield just in the nick of time to avoid that grenade. But there are 3 more grenades left, and not all of them have their glue walls online. Oh my god, Arnab, he manages to get one, but Alamin and Antonio, they shower them with grenades of their own. It seems like between hand grenades and the grenade launcher, the hand grenades will be the ones that come out on top.
Yeah, certainly was not expecting to hear that statement anytime soon, but I did. Grenade launchers being less effective than grenades just goes on to show how well they've practiced throwing these bad boys. But for the time being, Crips, it's just the second circle, and already we are seeing 11 teams in the mix over here. I have to say, there's a lot more action in the previous Bermuda game where we saw tons of teams staying alive up until the 5th circle. So yeah, this game definitely picking up pace, and that's mostly because of the skewed plane path that we saw at the start. Now, where Team EXE finds themselves is a very comfortable spot. They're in Bhima Shakti Strip. It is the center of the map, so rotations become very easy. But yeah, I'm not too sure where this goes next.
I mean, Team EXE 77MD was the MVP of the previous game as well. So them being in the center and them calling in their summoned airdrops, it just gives them so much more firepower. He's already leading, so this will definitely boost it up. Over here, though, we have Team JB going up against, I believe it's going to be Team One Man. So Team One Man, who managed to win the Booyah in the first game, is now up against Team Jawbreakers. But this time, I don't think they want to break jaws. They want to break every little bone in their body. And Cheetah starts up the fire pace. He knocks out Kunok, and Sadness is over here trying to flank from above. Cheetah on the low ground does get knocked out, so there's only one person remaining to help him out. But the person's on top, and I don't think he will be able to get here in time. Even the zone's closing out, so these guys are going to have to finish their fight really early. Otherwise, it's going to be a big problem. They do manage to revive one, and as soon as that happens, Sadness, who was leading from above, is actually going to come down to finish them off up close and personal. He managed to get one more knock, but that was actually Freak who managed to finish off 2 knock. Now it's just Sadness. He's got Loser pinned down behind one particular glue wall, and Naimalam even farther behind. I don't think they're aware about Naimalam's position yet, but Loser and Mula, yeah, those are 2 positions that they are definitely aware about, and they're just trying to break them down, making sure that they can't enter. And Cheetah, with that M249, he's dishing out so much damage. Even Sadness comes in from around, and here is Naimalim for the final nail in the coffin. Team Jawbreakers are able to eliminate that entire team, and that is how the cookie crumbles. Such wonderful flanks by Cheetah and Nayamalam both. In fact, Nayamalam stayed outside the zone deliberately so that he could come in from behind and surprise them. That was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, the way he utilized his big brain, just staying outside the zone, tanking that damage and trying to get those sweet shots, and he's able to keep his team alive and keep them from being gate kept. They almost got gate kept, but yeah, I'm surprised to see that they were actually able to win that fight. I imagined, them having the zone advantage at the very least should be able to gatekeep the enemy team, but they seem to be a little bit too overeager. They pushed up high ground against the team, and all of a sudden, they don't really have ample of cover to work with, and they were getting, picked off from left, right, and center. So when you're trying to push like that against players who are coming from outside the zone, I guess they spread their resources a bit too thin. Maybe a bit more patience would have kept them in the game, but that story's done and dusted. There's nothing we can do about that now, so we got to move on. But yeah, the next zone, it's closing in towards peak. If you could quickly have a look at the map, that'd be amazing. Just have a look where all of these teams are positioned. But it seems that the circle is going to be closing in towards that Bhima Shakti strip area. But yeah, I could be wrong for the time being. ELC taking the fight from elsewhere is going to be able to eliminate Alpha Shuvo with the SVT at that range. They're certainly doing a lot of work, but he still has to do more because look at Team 12. They're still trying to make their way inside, and Seth with his SVT now this time around is going to be able to take out another player. We will eventually be eliminated by the zone, but I'm quite sure that the kill will be credited to Team Electro. Let's see what ends up happening. Sadness is going to be able to finish one off. Ali is also going to be knocked down. Elsewhere on the map, Skylate got knocked down by the zone, but over here, Jawbreakers are taking a fight against team number 11. Team number 11, they were already 1 man down, and now they are getting picked off. Their own aggression is not paying off for them because Team Jawbreakers, well, I'm not sure if they're breaking jaws, but they certainly are breaking Team 11's spirit because they need to retreat. They need to get the hell out of here and make their way inside the zone instead because Team 8, they can just continue gatekeeping. They are closer to the zone than Team 11 is.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing. Team Jawbreakers are actually sending 2 of their players inside the zone to take up the position. There's only 1 compound available in the zone, and if Team Jawbreakers manage to get their hands on it, they will be unstoppable. While they're doing so, they've left Sadness behind so that he can keep an eye on Team Electro over there. I feel really bad for Team XB, though. They were caught in between Team Electro and Jawbreakers, and they got sandwiched so hard. That sandwich was swallowed so quickly. And at this point, Team Jawbreakers, if they have this compound in control and if they do manage to hold it, I do see that they might just be able to win the Booyah. Although Team EXE also has an equally stronger compound. They have a nice L-shaped house, and that house has plenty of cover in the form of someone airdrops on top of the roof. And they're just firing away onto Team Xenon. Although Team Xenon don't seem to be giving a damn because they just want to get in the zone first, but Shifat will get knocked down. And in return, they will manage to take a couple of kills over here as well. But hold on! Team EXE have a different opponent on their hands. They're about to get third-partied. And at the same time, Team Electro is about to fight Team JP. So there's 2 fights happening at the same time. One of it involves 3 teams. The other one involves only 2 teams. Electro versus JP. This is going to be a fight for the southern end of the circle. Meanwhile, the northern battle is still raging on. The bunch of nades are blocked down by the glue walls, but at this point I don't feel like the glue walls are going to be the problem over here. The high ground will be the one that determines the fate of these teams. Electro, no, wait, why are Team Electro trying to fight and third party upon Team EXE? That's a horrible decision. They have Team Jawbreakers to deal with. You can't afford to pick up 2 fights at once, and that's exactly what happens when you try to third party when you're already fighting against Jawbreakers. You lose out most of your members, and now Safe has 18 HP left, no health, no position, no glue walls. They're as good as dead, Floki.
Yeah, he has absolutely nada to work with, Crips, and I don't think he's going to be staying alive for much longer. But he is going to be praying to the gods that are out there, and he's going to be looking towards the stars to guide him, because he is not going to be able to make his way inside. Hell, he just ends up being eliminated by the zone eventually. So yeah, he's going to go down. But over here, Team Xenon trying to make their way inside the circle, was trying to gatekeep Team Jawbreakers. In the meantime, Zeth is wait, no, team number 3's Shupan is still alive, but Shupan eventually will eliminate Nobin. Now yeah, over here, Shifat, he is still standing. Team 8 and Team 2 both eyeing out each other. Xenon and Jawbreakers. Let's see who comes out on top. Things are going to be started off by Anonto with a nade, getting a knock. But look at this. He's actually ventured into the SMG of Freak, who with the MP40 is going to be able to take out 1 and a 2nd kill as well. Team Xenon, they are bleeding kills. Anonto is going to go down. Shupan and Alarmin are the only people standing. 3v2. Can they make this happen? The grenades need to do a lot of work, but they're not doing anything. Alarmin is also going to be knocked down. Now Shupan with the sniper rifle trying to do something, but he gets double peaked. And at the end, it's going to be the Jawbreakers who find themselves the Booyah.
Oh man, I feel so bad for Team Xenon. They managed to get into the 2nd place twice, 2 times. They missed out on the Booyah 2 times. They had the opportunity to win that whole game. And in fact, for a second, I thought Team Xenon would be able to win it because they were not the ones picking fights. In fact, they completely ignored Team EXE as they were trying to shoot them. And they just decided, nope, we're going to get into the zone first. Xenon had the advantage as well. And then they were not able to win the battle against Team Jawbreakers.
Yeah, I mean, even Team Electro at the same time, they were trying to battle against Team Jawbreakers, but they were too concerned about third-partying the other team, which was a good decision in hindsight because, they can't really take that firefight against Team 8. I mean, in the moment, I guess you could say so, but I feel like if they used their glue walls properly, they could have gatekept the other team. Maybe instead of trying to fight uphill, was a better decision, but you never know. I mean, I think that sort of a situation probably helps to turn around and, gatekeep the team. It's easy to gatekeep because, yeah, taking that fight against Jawbreakers definitely didn't work out for them. Maybe if they had more glue walls to work with, Chris, it could be justified, but yeah, we can have a quick look at the replay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at the replay and then we'll realize what kind of a horrible position that they were stuck in. Over here, though, I really love the way how Team Xenon were able to wipe out Team Agent. I mean, Team Xenon have been picking up fights right from the start, so it's not like they only play for positions. Even though in the last few circles they tried to play for position points, it's not like they were doing it all throughout. They were not at all afraid of picking up fights, and they're not even afraid of going up against grenade launchers. In fact, they fight fire with fire. Arnab, okay, you see right there what happened. We missed it in the moment, but Arnab from Team Agent actually knocked himself out with the grenade launcher. So that was a massive blunder that they capitalized on.
Yeah, and this is the fight that we were eventually going to talk about. I mean, this is the first time Team Jawbreakers managed to gatekeep. And over here, Team Electro, they tried moving in. Now, this is what I was talking about, right? So, after they started moving into the circle, they realized that Team 6 was behind them. I'm not quite sure who Team 6 is, but...
Extreme X.
Yeah, Team Extreme X, there we go.
So, yeah, at that point, when Team Extreme X is busy fighting Team Xenon over here, Xenon just completely ignored them. They move into the zone, which was a great decision at that time. But what isn't a great decision is Team Electro over here. Now, we have Shuo, who's trying to, knock out players from Team Extreme X, whereas his own teammates are now getting destroyed by Team Jawbreakers. So, you really need to prioritize your decisions over there. Yeah, sure, he might have been able to steal a couple of kills, but if his team dies in the process, then there's really no point of getting that one extra point. And then, unfortunately, Team Xenon, even after surviving the early skirmishes, after punishing the mistakes of Team Agent X, and getting so close to winning the Booyah, even after Shupan was able to get 2 knocks, he just could not finish the game. And
I mean, there was a lot of weight on his shoulders.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. That was way too much weight, and it was a very tall task. But imagine coming in second place 2 times. Those were 2 times you could have won a Booyah, and that's just gonna break your heart.
Probably, man. Like, at this point, they're probably thinking to themselves, man, we were so close, we were so close, we were so close. But there is a silver lining to this, Crips. Getting second place 2 times in a row means that you get, some of the highest points there are in the game. So, hey, maybe in terms of group standings, they're doing quite well. And I hope that is the case because, I mean, those are the guys they really need to compete against. Those are the guys they really need to beat. And as long as they're beating them, I think they, somewhere in there, are going to be able to find that silver lining to be like, you know what, guys, we might have missed out on the Booyah twice, but at least we are ahead of the members in our group, and that's all that really matters because that's all they need to do for the group stages. In the grand finals, though, if this was the case, I would be very surprised. But yeah, this just being the group stages for the time being, they have their eyes set on making it out of the group stages instead of trying to secure the Booyah for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't get the Booyah, I'm fine with that as well. You have 2 second place finishes, so that's what, 9 points, 18 points at the end of the day, and that's a massive boost over there. Yeah. Plus, you already have plenty of kills on the top of it, so it really doesn't hurt. And you have several chances left, Floki. There's only 3 games done. We still have 3 more games remaining for the day, so we are only halfway across the day. You can always redeem yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be quickly having a look at the standings, I believe, before we move into the game. But yeah, okay. Regardless of the standings, I do want to say that these 2 groups, it's going to be interesting to see which group actually manages to frag out most because all eyes are going to be on them. Now, remember, even though these guys are competing in, against each other in the groups, they're probably still taking this time to assess the other group's strengths and weaknesses, especially if you're someone who's already beating, the team in your current group. Let's say if your team's Xenon and you've consistently aced out your group, you're probably looking towards some of these other teams and trying to figure out what their strats are. So I'm curious to see how they are going to shape up and, create their response to this in the upcoming games because, let's say, they're able to constantly do that and that team makes it into the grand finals. That is a free time that you had to study your opponents, which, you otherwise might not have had because you're too busy trying to, win the game and, trying to get out of the group stages. So, of course, being in the top spot, being able to study all of these teams, it's going to make a big difference eventually down the line. And I do hope that these teams are able to use that time and use that energy to try and figure out what their playstyle is like. So maybe we can see some interesting early game fights where they can test their drops and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've already seen 2 games of Bermuda. We're about to head into our second game of Purgatory. So maybe they will have learned something from the first game. And even if they did not, it's okay because this first few days of the tournament, all of it are just about learning each other's strengths. And as we progress further into the tournament, that's when we will start seeing counter pushes. That's when we'll see teams trying to contest each other in drop locations in a place where they will be able to actually win them, or maybe cut off rotations in in very unorthodox positions. So that's when we start seeing teams trying to counter each other. At this point, they're just feeling each other out. And speaking of feeling each other out, Team Extreme X are on the top with 48 points and a Booyah. Team Xenon, though, not having a single Booyah in their bag, but on the back of 2 second place finishes, they are also tied up with Team Extreme X. They both are at 48 points.
Yeah, I mean, this gives them a very good buffer, right? You have a buffer of around 1 games where you can play a little sloppily, play a little bit out of hand, or, do something wild, experiment a little bit, and see where that takes you. So teams have built this buffer, which is going to allow them to play a bit more comfortably in their upcoming games. But I am a little worried about Team One Man Electro and Infinity because those guys are sitting on 25 to 24 points each. And yeah, if they're them, you might want to start getting those top 2, top 3 finishes now because if you're not able to, the next few maps could be quite painful. If they don't get those Booyahs, if they don't get those top placements, getting out of the group stages itself could be a big, big problem. But yeah, we can have a quick look at the next map in just a bit. But before we do, I do want to take some time to discuss the way Team Xenon are playing. Now, if they're going to constantly get these second place finishes, Crips, I feel like over the course of the group stages, they are the team that you're going to want to watch out for because a man who is satisfied getting second and third place consistently and is getting those places consistently, you may win the battles, but they will win the war. So if they continue doing this and if they continue to do this in the grand finals as well, consistently getting those second, third, fourth place finishes, they are going to be winning the long race. And the saying goes that the turtle always wins the race. So I mean, yeah, we will eventually see a team who is consistently getting top 2 beat out teams who occasionally gets a booyah.
The whole turtle thing is actually pretty cool because it kind of is an actual strategy. Yeah, like the turtle strategy is real, especially in maps like Purgatory. You put up a massive armor, you move slowly, inching forward into the zone. This is especially useful when you're in a position where 2 or 3 teams are looking down at you. So that's going to be really interesting. Now we are jumping into Kalahari, and even though the schedule did not show Kalahari to be in there, we are going to be seeing it nonetheless. Surprise, surprise! The deserts are here indeed.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Kalahari is one of the weirdest maps for me. Is just because of the amount of verticality that's in there, right? So usually you're able to account for players, based over long distances, over hills and valleys. But given the enormous cliffs that are available inside of Kalahari and the vertical element of it, you're exposed from so many angles, and this is exactly what's happening right now to Team 2. Team 2, they're getting fired upon from all the way from Oldhampton, and at this distance with the AN94, you can certainly do a fair amount of work, but Noban doesn't really have a scope to make it work at this distance. So, maybe he's not going to be able to pick up the kills, but he does deal a fair amount of harass damage, and we'll see if that ends up being relevant later on. But yeah, Kalahari, I'm expecting teams to just stay put for the first circle because usually the first circle does cover a majority portion of the map. But yeah, the second and third circle is when things are gonna start getting really, really interesting, and that's what I want to look out for. I want to see if the teams, when the second and third circle forms, if they're able to perform, just as well as they did in the first circle. Because the first circle, yeah, I mean, it covers the entirety of the map, so it can be pretty easy to hold on to your positions.
Yeah, but then as the circle keeps on shrinking, that's when the rotations become really, really difficult, especially if the circle is somewhere towards refinery. Oh boy, oh boy. I hope we do get a refinery finish. Or maybe like a finish towards the southern part of the map where the verticality isn't all that much, but there are plenty of urban areas that you can hide in. So any of those places where the terrain is complicated, I would love to see that.
Yeah, but okay, MVP of the match, at least the last one, was Freak with 7 kills to his name. Yeah, he's certainly justifying the Freak tag because, yeah, 7 kills, yeah, that's unheard of. You gotta be a special kind of skill to be able to do that stuff, especially skill with something like an SMG or sniper rifle because those are some of the most powerful guns in the game. SMG is less so in close range combat because you don't usually see players, getting that close to each other. But yeah, I mean, Freak, if he continues with this particular performance in this game, I'm quite curious to see what he can do. Now, he does have the Thompson, and I believe it's the Kar 98K in his hand, so he's going to have a fair amount of close range and long range to work with, but I do hope that he's able to continue this performance because at this rate, Team Jawbreakers, they will most certainly be turning heads towards themselves. They will be catching attention of all these other teams in play.
Yep. And speaking of catching attention, the kill feed has my attention for now. It's Team Electro going up against Ambush. Now, no. Actually, it's yep, they are going up against Ambush Esports. So I'm not sure who is the one getting ambushed over here. Is it Electro that walked into them, or did Ambush run into them? So it's gonna be exciting to see. Now, this is because I believe this is very close to the water areas of the map. It does kind of act like a deterrent because look at that massive stream that runs in between these two teams, and even Team Jawbreakers is here, which means Team Electro is now about to get sandwiched, and these guys are in a very difficult situation. I don't think they will be able to even get out of here. Luckily,
Yeah.
the circle does form upon them, so they are in no hurry to leave. But this area keeps on getting crowded. I do see one more team on the minimap, and I'm not sure which team it is just yet. But then, if things go wrong, this might turn into a four-way battle, which is even harder to deal with. At this point, we have Team Ambush Esports perched up inside just one small house, and that's very close to the confinement and council hall area. At the same time, Team Electro are rather split up. Look at TMZ. So that guy is on the right hand side of your screen, and you did see the rest of his teammates away from him. So there's a massive gap in between Team Electro players. They should be able to set up a decent crossfire on some other part of the map on a completely different note. This is happening near Foundation. We have Team Infinity going up against Agent TXP. So this is a completely different map. On one side, we are seeing a three-way or potentially four-way battle. This time it's just two teams over here. So at least they don't have to worry too much. Team Infinity, though, are in the high-tier loot zone of Foundation. So Team Agent actually gonna have to close the distance in order to get a couple of kills on them. If they do get a knock, they can consider rushing in, but I don't think it's a wise choice at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is just about dishing out harass. You don't really want to commit to this location, especially when Team 3, they've set their foot in the high tier loot zone. So you can be assured they have some good long-range weaponry to work with. You're just trying to get some resources forced out by them early on and then looking to get inside the circle. But now, over here on the map, it looks like Team Cyanide are trying to face off against team number 10, that is Mask Boys. Now, Mask Boys do have all 4 players up and Cyanide do not, so they could be at an inherent disadvantage. But look at this close range initiation by, I believe that's Nibar. He has the Thompson in his hand, but at this distance, he's not really able to connect his shots. He can't even jump over the box, so he's going to have to go all the way around. Akib with the Max 7 trying to put an end to Cyanide's play here in this map number 4. Blade is knocked down. Is he going to be eventually taken out? Yes, he is. Only Spartan and Akib remaining. Now, he has the Kar 98K at this distance. It does do a lot of work, but Spartan has also gone down, Crips, and yeah, I'm not quite sure if Akib is going to be able to clutch this one out. 2 players chasing him. Maybe the Max 7 can take out 1. Nope, he cannot. Mass Boys, they're just on them. I mean, they come all wrapping around from all directions and basically has no options remaining. But over here, Team AE, they're going to be in a world of trouble because they are getting sandwiched here by Team Electro and Team G2BL Esports. Now, Team G2BL, they have lost at least one of their members, so they're going to be retreating and cutting their losses short. But it seems like Skylate is not going to be able to do so because Electro Seth is not going to let him escape. Thankfully enough, he does not have the best scope in the world, so at this distance, he's not really going to be able to connect that kill. But eventually, he will have to fight against all these. This is an insane decision by TMZ. You're dropping right on top of the time turner in the middle of 3 heroes. He's going to be quickly eliminated. And now Electro working with a man disadvantage, but they've got themselves 2 knockouts as well. It's going to be a 1v1 between Sipon and Fearless. Fearless still standing for the time being. Sipon is going to deploy the glue wall, heal himself back up, look to wrap around and get the kill, but his teammates are all dead and Fearless is walking back in to revive his own. And just like that, Sipon, I don't think this ends well for him. Eventually, he's going to have to get the hell out of here. The maze of glue walls protecting his teammates, and yeah, I think he knows he needs to get the hell out of here. He cannot stay there anymore, and eventually he too will be picked off by Team Ambush Esports. And at this distance, he might not be able to live too long. He does survive for now, Crips, but eventually Team 7, or rather Team Ambush Esports, they will be able to take him out.
I'm surprised Team Jawbreakers didn't move into this fight. Electro is about to run into Team Jawbreakers, and he's the last man standing for his team. But given the fact that Jawbreakers are seeing this fight and they were hearing and they were keeping a tab on this one for such a long time, I believe they would have probably moved in a lot sooner. But they did not. And now poor Electro, Saipan, he's seeing so many players right around him, and he's just hoping that they don't check his area. They haven't spotted him yet. He hasn't even made a little bit of noise, but now he finally starts to run away in panic. And this is the place where they need to actually catch him, because they must have heard him for sure. He's actually being really, really smart. He's going all the way around the house, trying to flank from the other side and hopefully jabate them. But the jabate will be caught out, and Naeem Alim will be the one who puts the final nail in the coffin. Team Electro is yet another team that goes down.
Yeah, I love the hive mind on the side of Team Jawbreakers. They know the flank is coming in, so 3 players at the same time holding that angle. Like, yeah, peek us, buddy. I dare you. I double dare you. And as soon as he peeks, he just meets his makers. Now, Bayfront is going to be occupied by Team Jawbreakers for the time being, so they can continue staying here as long as they want. No worries. But in 30 seconds, the circle is going to start closing in. So maybe they want to try and feel out where rest of these teams are. There are a couple of teams showing on the map. Eventually that information will be relayed back to them. But yeah, Kalahari is a map where your rotations are going to matter a lot, and rotating early has huge advantages and huge implications. So I do believe that eventually, when they start realizing that no real team is closing in from their position, they're going to start moving inside the circle. Now towards Refinery Crips, this is going to be very, very interesting. UAV flying overhead, Team Xenon, they are on top, so they do have the high ground advantage, and they do have the liberty of deciding if they want to take this fight or not. But given how spread out they are, I think they need to start grouping up and picking off all of these members from Team TXB.
Yeah, and Team TXB is trying to make their distance now. They're moving away from the Refinery, actually. At one point, they were directly underneath them, but they decide to go away instead, and they're going towards one of the platforms of Refinery. But oh my goodness, they walk into a landmine set up by Team Xenon, and as soon as Team Xenon sees that happen, they know exactly where Team TXB tried to run away to. Now they know which house they were inside. I mean, to some extent, them falling away from Refinery and going elsewhere would probably have given them an advantage, but their positions are marked now, and Team Xenon are aware about exactly which house they're inside. But luckily for Team TXP, they are not so keen on hunting them right now because Xenon don't want to lose their own high ground advantage.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Xenon, they are going to have new challengers coming in, and that's going to be Team Jawbreakers. They're closing in towards Refinery. Remember how I spoke about early rotation? That is exactly what Team Jawbreakers are doing here. Nobin, in the meantime, is trying to gatekeep this player from the enemy team right now. He's going to be successful in doing so, forcing out a couple of glue walls. Also has the luxury of just falling back. You know, when you have the high ground, cover belongs to you. It's on your side, so you can get back if you want to. Anonto, in the meantime, he's keeping his eyes his eyes are perched towards this little tower area near Refinery. Now, that tower is a very good location to hold, especially with something like a sniper rifle, but you could be in for a world of trouble if you end up being knocked out, because if your teammates don't have grappling hooks, you will most certainly be going down. No one to revive you, but I do see one on Cheetah, so maybe it's not all dull and gloomy for Freak, but Freak, at that distance, with the Car 90k in hand, Crips, I would be terrified right now if I was Team Xenon and I knew exactly what Freak had in his hands.
Yeah, but Freak's position has been revealed. He was staying up there very sneakily, playing like a little hawk inside a nest who's trying to be invisible. But now that his position has been revealed, Team Xenon will be very careful about trying to engage. Unfortunately, Shifa does get eliminated. But while Team Xenon are very busy dealing with Freak, the rest of his teammates are actually trying to create problems for some other team. And that team is going to be Team One Man.
Yeah.
So I don't really like this by Team JP. I hope they don't manage to pick up fight with both of them at the same time, because if they do, they are very susceptible to getting sandwiched.
Absolutely. I mean, this is going to be a bit problematic here for Team Jawbreakers. Fortunately, they have the high ground, so they don't have to worry too much because they can just choose not to take that fight and retreat. But over here, when they're being peppered by Team Xenon, they don't really have a lot of options. I think the only thing they can do for now is stay put. Refinery finishes are always interesting to see, and with the third circle closing in, we'll see exactly where the next circle is going to be. So we'll see if this aggression from all of these teams is going to pay off or not. Jawbreakers, though, they have a decision to make, Chris, and that decision is, do they take the fight against Team Xenon? I think the answer to that is going to be a resounding no. But then again, they also have to worry about team number 9, that's Team One Man coming in from the low ground. And eventually, if they don't guard their flanks, Team 9 or Team One Man, they will be finding those picks.
Oh, Jawbreakers, they did manage to eliminate GB2L. So that's at least one more team out of the mix. I guess at this point, Team Jawbreakers do need to move in because the circle doesn't favor them anymore. And now the tables have turned. At this point, Team Xenon have all the advantage. Yeah, sure, Team Jawbreakers, they can stay outside and gatekeep the other teams and maybe pick up a couple of kills for themselves. And I think that's exactly what they'll do, because I think at this point, even Jawbreakers realize that moving into the zone is next to impossible. So they might as well just go for kills instead of going for placement points. And that is a difficult decision to make. It's a tough pill to swallow, but one that they will have to swallow nonetheless. The only way for them to get inside the zone is to either cross this bridge, which is already being marked by Shupan, or they're going to have to go all the way around that valley and hope that the low ground doesn't really kill them.
Yeah. I mean, low ground's going to be a little bit problematic for him to hold, but over here, Team Mask Boys, they are in a world of trouble. Only Bilal and his little pal still standing strong. Other two have been eliminated. Team Xenon, though, they are not too healthy either. They have 3 players alive with them, but having the high ground, they have the liberty of choosing their fights, and that is exactly what they're doing. Oh no, Loser will be able to snatch that kill away from Anonto. Anonto with the Groza is doing a fair amount of work at this distance. That weapon is very, very strong, but the glue walls are protecting for the time being Team One Man, and Team One Man will eventually find their way inside the circle. So not everything is dull and gloomy, but the next circle is going to be very, very interesting. And this is where things start becoming really, really interesting, because there's going to be high ground and low ground elements to work against. And yeah, I believe we might be seeing a heal battle over here in the work script. I'm really curious to see what ends up happening towards the late game, but over here, Team XB could be in a world of trouble because they are trying to go high ground up against Team 12. That is Team... wait, no, they are Team 12. They're trying to go up against the Team Infinity. You know, Team Infinity are on the low ground for the time being, so you don't have to worry about that, but Ali with the double balance.
nice.
Oh my god! 3 people peek him at the same time, and Ali is going to be knocked down. His teammates, though, they come in the nick of time. Arthur's still alive. Baby Girl is also going to come in for the retreat, but he's... Oh no, Arthur's going to be knocked down. Baby Girl is nowhere in sight. Where the hell is Baby Girl? Baby Girl is nowhere to be seen. He is still standing all by himself, and Arthur is also going to be knocked out. Now he is the only member remaining from his team. Look at Team Xenon, though. Once again, they are spread out, they have the high ground, and they are deciding which fights they want to take. That is the luxury that having the high ground provides you, especially on a map like Refinery. Look at team number 3, though. They're trying to make their way inside the zone. Team Infinity will eventually be eliminated, but so will Team Xenon. Okay, no, Team Xenon are the ones who get the shutdown, and Team XB are the ones who end up being eliminated. My bad there.
Oh,
but
no.
with 4 teams remaining in the mix scripts, high ground and low ground, take it away, my man.
I think Team Xenon can easily go for a heal battle over here because nobody else is above them. Everyone else below, and they have the entirety of the steel floors to themselves. Everyone else on the ground floor. Team JB over here, Jawbreakers, are gonna go up against Team One Man. Now, One Man is even below them. Like, there's high ground, there's the ground floor, and then there's the bottom of the valley. That's where Team One Man is stuck. They're trying to make their way upstairs, but only one of them is actually up, and that's gonna be Kiddo. If he goes up against 3 players of Team Xenon at the same time, then I'm pretty sure he's gonna die right off the bat. And even Team Xenon are not actually trying to go for the heal battle. They're actually trying to pick up a fight. Team One Man lose most of their players to the zone, but they're actually trying to push everyone out. Even Jawbreakers are getting eliminated by the zone, and there's so much damage being dished out by the blue. It is so cursed. Freak now desperately trying to stay alive, but the zone is gonna swallow him. Actually, he puts up a bunch of glue walls, and he locks out Team Xenon. What on earth? Oh my god. That is some 200 IQ level move right there. I did not expect that to happen. For the longest time, I thought Team Xenon have the advantage because they're the ones getting the kills. But then guess what happens? He puts up 2-3 glue walls, locks out the entire side, and forces Team Xenon to go all the way around the pillar. And that's when most of them die. This is just so good.
I mean, that is some big brains play right there, because I imagine he's the kind of player who plays a lot of solos, because in solo you're very reliant on yourself and the resources you have, and in solos we often see players try and do these insane plays where they use glue walls to try and block other players off. So I have to say, you know, very high individual skill on Freak. The way he's been playing these games really makes me wonder what else Bangladeshi Free Fire has in store for us. But we're going to be having a quick look at the replay, and you're going to see exactly the way the cookie crumble in this particular game. I have to say, Jawbreakers, you know, they get themselves into a very good spot. I do believe they have 1 Booyah to their name now, but yeah, they've been consistently performing well too. And I think this is one of the teams you want to look out for, especially if you're from Group C, because yeah, Team Jawbreakers, they are certainly going to be breaking your jaws and much more.
Oh man, I feel so bad for Team Xenon again. They are on the 2nd place yet again, Floki. The curse just continues. Yep, that's what they are right now. They're literally cursed. I don't know what else to call the situation. I mean, it's not even their fault. Kalahari is one of those maps where you really can't expect what's going to happen, and you can't predict and move accordingly. And it's fair because Refinery circles are always confusing, but it was this confusing that even I had no idea what was going on up until the end. I thought for the longest time Team Xenon have the advantage and maybe they'll finally get their Booyah, but no, that's not what happened over here. let's just break it down because we have the recaps now. At this point, we can see how Team XB and Infinity just basically slaughtered each other. They ruined the game for each other while trying to get upstairs. And I don't know why Team Infinity tried to go upstairs in the first place. They could have gone down. They could have stayed there. So they ended up losing their players. Team XB ended up dying. And here's Team Xenon, all right? 3 of the players are strong. Team One Man is just losing most of the players to the zone themselves. And Team Jawbreakers have only one player remaining, and that's Freak. Now, Team One Man Kiddo, he tries to get the kill onto him. But look at them. Team Xenon are being forced to go to the other side of the zone. And Freak, he did not even have to do anything to win that game. One single glue wall, which I'm not even sure if Freak deployed or if Team Xenon themselves deployed it. I don't know what happened over there, but that glue wall is the one that ended up costing Team Xenon that win. I mean,
Yeah.
Freak, he got that game for free. It was handed to him on a silver platter.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how tongue twisted you are by all that action that came out. I mean, towards the end, it was so confusing for me too because I couldn't imagine that Freak would win the game in such a fashion. I thought, Car 98K in his hands. At the start of the game, I'm like, yeah, Freak got himself 7 kills. He's got a sniper rifle again. He's again, going to dish out the damage, dish out the deeps. But in the end, it was his brains that got him the got him the booyah, and not his Car 98K. So I'm always glad to see that players are versatile and have different strengths. But we're going to be cutting to a short break, and we will be back with game number 5 and 6. You folks, make sure you don't go anywhere because there's going to be more action coming.
চলে আসছে লাস্টের দিকে টাইম লাস্টের দিকে টাইমে ধরে এলিমিনেট যে টিমটা সে চলে আসবে লাস্টের দিকে টাইমে ধরে এলিমিনেট
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. My name is Crips, and joining me for the next few games is going to be Tanya. And of course, Floki has taken his leave, so we're going to be bringing you the last few games of the day. It was a pretty hectic game, Tanya. Kalahari was,
Yeah,
it was all over the place.
it was all over the place. And as I always say, that Kalahari is the game changer, the route changer. And here we are towards that. We have completed 4 matches for the day. And Bermuda Purgatory, Bermuda Kalahari. Once again, we are headed towards the next 2 matches, which are going to be Purgatory and Kalahari. So heading back towards the discussion of Kalahari, Crips, Kalahari is supposed to be the game changer, map changer, as well as the leaderboard changer. And that is
Yeah.
what breathtaking matches we got to see. And how can we say, I mean, the kills, the snipers, the hideouts, the height advantage, the grappling hook guns, the players covered everything. And I'm really looking forward to next 2 matches, Free Fire Bangladesh Championships. And out of that, we are headed, Group A and Group B is the day for League One, which is distributed that way. So we are going to get the best players, best games, best matches. So with that said, let's head towards the 2 matches for the the day, and here we are going real soon.
Honestly, it's been a roller coaster journey so far, but this is just the start. The loops and the drops, they're all about to come in very, very soon. And Purgatory is such a different vibe from Kalahari. It's like the polar opposite. It's a wide open map. There's no nooks and crannies over here. There's no hide advantage and whatnot. So speaking about wide open grass fields and grass fields that might become blood fields, let's just jump in. Purgatory, the land of three islands, as I like to call it. But let's be honest, most of the teams just mostly go to Brasilia. So yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that happens. I call Brasilia the land of rainbows because that is where we see the lots and lots of colors, but ended with the bloodsheds for sure. And as we have seen, the players have already started to land, and it is team number 3 and 9 which are going to be Team Infinite. With that, their ground is going to be shared by Team One Man. One Mans have taken away one booyah for sure. So, are they going to bag away the booyah once again? Is going to be a question. And there's one player who is a little bit away from other teammates, and let's see if he is going to engage into fight or is he going to take a fallback.
Surprisingly, Brasilia is not being contested just yet. We do have Team Jawbreakers Electro heading over there, but I'm not sure if Electro plan to stay over there. They probably might go towards Central or Fire Brigade, but not just yet. Even Team Xenon are dropping on the edge of Brasilia, very close to the river, probably indicating that they want to go someplace else, because if they wanted to be inside the main city of Brasilia, this is not where they would have dropped. Although, Tanya, we do have a fight on our hands, and it's going to be Team One Man up against Team Infinity. At the same time, in Brasilia, Team Cyanide might just go up against Jawbreakers, the current leaders, and they already are looking very, very good. Akib, extremely low on health, is getting pursued by Freak, who might just be able to finish him off right away because Akib doesn't have any more healing left. In fact, he's so low on health and so far away from his teammates that he will basically not get any cover whatsoever, and Freak will be able to secure first blood without any difficulty.
Absolutely, and now Team Cyanide is left only with 3 players, and they are just opposite to Street. Chrono Shields have been used by the Jawbreakers, and now Blade can use it as an advantage for him. He can go for the close call, for the close fight, but are they intending to? Because after losing one player, you tend to have a little bit hesitation in engaging into fight, but somewhere I see the players are not hesitated at all. They just want to go offensive thoroughly. I did see some damage being bared by the Jawbreakers, but somewhere they are healing back. This is what the advantage comes when there's a long range fight going on.
Team Jawbreakers taking the sweet time to engage upon Team Cyanide. They've got them all locked inside one house. The only person who has broken this lockdown and is trying to escape is going to be Fireman from Team Cyanide. Now, where is this young man trying to go? He's trying to go across the road, hoping to secure a safe path for his team to follow. And just because he was able to get to the other side of the road, his teammates will now follow the same path, hoping to get to safety. But Jawbreakers are aware about this, and they're actively looking to cut off their rotation. Elsewhere, in a much cooler climate, which is about to get heated up really, really soon, Team XB is up against Mask Boys. XB is one of those teams who managed to secure a top 5 position in the last game, but Mask Boys, yeah, they're at the absolute bottom of the scoreboard. If they lose this game right here and now, then it will become even more difficult for Mask Boys. So they definitely cannot afford to lose this fight. But as I say that, Baby Girl is able to knock out Nibir. And is anyone around to save him? Gibbon walks into that trap and Arthur is able to damage him way too much. But Arthur, he tries to pick up a fight against Gibbon when the Chrono Shield was activated and he gets taken down instantly. At least Mask Boys have a chance of exacting revenge and maybe reviving the teammate. But here comes the shot from Adion and Ali gets knocked out, slapped into his feet. Even Baby Girl is knocked out and she has nobody next to her to revive her. Oh my god, this is falling apart. The Mask Boys are actually mounting a comeback. Hamim and Ali, they have high ground for themselves, but virtually no cover. And Ali has a big responsibility on his shoulders because he needs to cover Hamim's footsteps. If Hamim manages to get to the top of the ski lot, then maybe he should be able to get out and secure a great passage, maybe get a couple of resources, some grenades, maybe even a vehicle to escape. But Ali is trapped over here behind this pillar. And so is Hamim. He didn't get very far. He was hoping that if he runs in a straight line, then the perspective of Team Mask will mask actually his presence. That was funny, right? The perspective of Team Mask will mask his presence. Haha. Bad jokes, but
Ali, he's not moving, but a great shot, and that's going to be chip on down. Can he actually secure the kill? Yes, he can, turning it into a 2v3. But as I say that, Ramin gets knocked out, and now it's a 1v3. Unless he manages to get the kill onto Adion as well. He boiled it down to a 1v1. It's Bilal versus Ali right now, but Bilal can actually pull this off. Hold on. Is this real? Is Team GB2 trying to third party this? Where did they come from? Oh my goodness. Team Mask, they are on the verge of death. In fact, I believe they have been eliminated. And Team GB2L is here to third party on in this fight. This is so chaotic.
Absolutely, it is so chaotic. Alpha has already bagged 2 kills, and opponent have lost 2, but Ali somehow escapes himself, take the perfect flank required for his team, and revives his teammate alongside. So it is not just one player left. There are now 2 Team XB, and 2 is still a duos, is still a team. They can manage to engage fight against the squad if they have to. But over here, I'm once again seeing it is going to be Team GB2 LEA Sports against. I see only one player coming from Mask, boys. Is it only one? So yeah, it is going to be 1v4 clutches situation. Are they going to go through it, or the last man standing for the team is just going to flank out of this fight and save himself for the future fights, because you have to get positioning points if you can't engage into fight somewhere. So it is going to be a long responsibility held by him for now.
Oh my god, GB2L have his number. They know that Mask is somewhere still inside Ski Lodge, and they saw his chrono shield. The jig is up. He's been discovered, and now they're going to try to surround him from both the sides. Skylit, he's trying to go from the downward side and making sure that he can't get anywhere else. Meanwhile, the other 2 guys are actually following him from above the hill. And in all of this chaos, when GB2L is busy trying to kill Mask, the other team, they have just completely escaped this area. And there you go, they spotted him. Bilal gets taken down. Mask boys get eliminated at the last place yet again.
Shut down.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and the team rank 1 is held by Team Xenon with 59 points. Jawbreakers can change the leaderboards over here after this match performance. And rank 3 is being held by Team Extreme X. But best part is, Crips, look at the difference of points. Team 1 and 2 holding the same points, and rank 3 with 49. So difference is quite too huge for taking the lead anyway. But league points will make it easier for them for the final standings, for the final crossing through the barrier. And let's see if they are going to make it or no. But talking about Xenon and Jawbreakers, they have to go head to head to take the just to overtake the position, right? And over here we are headed towards Team Infinity. Against them is going to be Agent EXP and Sniper Tower, held high strongly by Team Infinity. So they get the advantage of view, and let's see how are they getting the easier picture. The T players are getting a close call as soon as they get into the range of fights. I'm very sure of there's no team who is going to hesitate. And over here, King's Ban is totally eliminated. What a strong entry coming by. What a deadly entry for the opponents over here. And no Ben would not stop firing over here. And they are trying to make sure that players holding in within the Sniper Tower are totally knocked and eliminated.
Okay, now Team Infinity, they've got themselves a pretty dangerous position because they were split up. And that's exactly what happens when you do get split up. Team Agent is able to pick them off one by one. They already confirmed a kill. Now they knocked out Santo as well. And the last 2 players of Team Infinity are getting chased by Team One Man. Okay then, they somehow came into the party.
They also join in the party. Now it's a trio fight going on over here. Few players knocked up. Reviving them is going to be difficult, but over here I see the players are heading for the knockers and confirming alongside, bagging some points for the final leaderboards over here. EXC Kazi is making sure to knock Sadness out, but Sadness would not peak so easily. He is holding himself so firmly that he's not even visible for a single second of time. But somewhere Cheetah is spotted fighting. Shots are not stopped either, and very good damage given over here. But somewhere the players are going to heal back. That is what the advantage is for the long range fight over here. Zico is making sure to get one knocker, but unfortunately, little does he know that player is already flanked out of the connecting shots.
Oh my god. Okay, now let's just break this down. Okay, let's take a breather. Team EXE, and they're battling an opponent which is very far away, who are already on the verge of falling back. So this fight doesn't really count. But take a look at where this fight is happening. There's a small cluster of 3 houses just on the top of Brasilia. This is where this fight is happening. And this compound is extremely important to hold for 2 reasons. A, it allows you a great amount of line of sight to, just keep an eye on anyone who's trying to enter and exit the city of Brasilia. And B, if they hold this area and if the circle goes to one of the other islands, they have a very easy way to rotate out of this. And Team EXE are holding this little compound, which, in my opinion, is one of the most important compounds in the entire map. And look at the circle, it forms directly on the edge of this compound, which means it just increases the value of this geographical location so much. And at this point, I would say the Team EXE are in the perfect position. They can gatekeep Team Jawbreakers, they can gatekeep Team Cyanide if they decide to do so in the first place, but I believe Team EXE probably won't do that. Elsewhere, Team TXB and GB2L still engaged in a firefight, and at this point, I guess GB2L will disengage because XP are hidden just a bit too well. But the circle, it does favor Team Agent for now. They're in the center, although I do believe it might change anytime soon. They have the high ground, they have the center, but if the circle moves, how will they adapt to it? I guess that's something we'll have to wait and watch. Team One Man inside the area of Crossroads, and they have no intentions of hiding their positions. They are actually ordering the summoned airdrop, so their positions in Crossroads will be revealed, but I don't think they care about it. I mean, it's pretty good area to hold on to, especially in a circle like this. Team Xenon, on the other hand, are on the bridge. Now, this is interesting, Tanya. Take a look at Team Electro's position. If they want to get over towards the main island, they're going to have to fight Xenon. They don't have a choice.
Absolutely, but the best part is Team Xenon is gradually entering through the bridge route, which is the safest way. Preferring for the water route is going to be difficult for them because they already are aware that there are certain teams who have already reached the location. But having said that, the fight is already escalated between the Team Agent over here, and it is Zisan who has already bagged one kill. Opposite to them are going to be Team 1. Zisan making sure that he gets the perfect aim, but somewhere it is Kunok is holding himself under the small shack, within the small shack, so that he doesn't get spotted so easy on, but Zisan would not stop scoping in him because he wants to make sure before going through the center of the circle, he wants to make sure the back ends of the circle are totally eliminated so they are safer for the longer run. Are they going to be safe? Because it is already Jamil over here who is holding the sniper tower, who is also trying to spot, and the bridge has been held high by Team Xenon as we discussed. Team Electro needs to make sure that they enter the zone safely, and over here Fireman is already taking some damage. It is going to be the zone fight over here, and Fireman with the disadvantage, with the damage taken up by Fireman with certain bullets itself, he is totally knocked up. Smart Spartan, on the other hand, would not care to revive him or heal him because he has to make sure he enters the zone over here. Is he going to reach it safely or no? Shifat trying to do the best gatekeeping he can because they have the advantage of zone, advantage of the bridge, advantage of the cover through the rocks, though not very hard cover. Are they going to go for the same shift or are they going to hold? Let's see where the Team 11 enters.
Oh my god, where is Team Electro? You're right, Tanya. They're not over here. They saw Team Xenon hold the bridge and they were like, nope, we are not gonna be entering the circle from this area at all. In fact, they're deliberately tanking the blue zone damage and trying to go from the other side of the circle, hoping to avoid this fight against Xenon entirely, but I'm not sure if they have the meds to do so. By the time they enter the circle, it's gonna be disastrous because the third circle damages you quite a lot. Once again, though, JB Freak, he is the MVP 2 games in a row, and I can see why he's the MVP already. He's landing some really good shots, knocks out Spartan, should be able to confirm that kill as well. He did let Spartan's teammate get away, but that's okay because Team Cyanide are down to 2 men now, and that just makes things even easier for Team Jawbreakers. They're not inside the circle yet, but that's okay. I don't think they care anymore. They can enter the circle from any way they please, and they know exactly where their opponents are because of the positions of the summoned airdrop boxes.
Yeah, the position is all good to go. They can hold on as long as they want to because they know that there's nobody following them except for the blue zone for sure. They are making it all good that whenever they enter, they are just perfectly fine. All 4 players are safe and sound. They have bagged. This is the only team who have managed to bag 2 booyahs. And yes, MVP, how can we forget Freak? He did get MVP in the previous match, a total of 7 kills, and this time again with 1 kill. So he is playing it very good for his team. And if this consistent play goes on, maybe we can see 1 more booyah coming from them. But then just wait and watch. There's one more team who is waiting for them to take an entry, and it is going to be Extreme X. How is the gatekeeping strategy for Extreme X? Matters a lot over here, but what matters over here is this team taking fight over here. It is Arnob who has spotted Shifat giving some damage through the blue wall, and yes, he did get 1 knock over here, and alongside that he makes sure that the knock is confirmed. Shifat with the cover of blue wall. How long can he hide over here because he is using all the blue walls possible to save himself, but on the other hand he did spot other player and confirmed one more kill. Arnob on fire, taking fights on two different directions and confirming kill both the sides.
Yeah, and he was able to get both those kills. He was able to eliminate Team Xenon, which means the #1 ranked team is out of this game, and the throne is up for the taking. Who's gonna grab it now? We have Team Agent, who is trying to keep an eye onto Team Electro. Now, keep in mind, Electro were being gatekept by Xenon, but now that Xenon is dead, Electro have a much safer passage inside the zone, or at least that's what they would have liked to assume, but the trouble just doesn't seem to end. They are now, again, being gatekept. It seems like this is their fate, but oh my goodness, Tanya, look at the circle. The circle moves in the favor of Team Agent. All 4 of the players are inside, and they have an opportunity to gatekeep literally everyone. But there's still 7 teams alive, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to gatekeep everyone else. They need to pick their fights, and they need to do so very wisely.
Absolutely, they need to do it very wisely, but it is never going to be too easy when Fearless can spot the Team X, and behind that there's one more team, which is the Jawbreakers. Jawbreakers are giving damage, and I feel somewhere it is Extreme X who are being sandwiched from both the sides, and Fearless is making very sure of the knock that he has taken. He confirms the kills over here. Firing ball shots would not stop from both the ends, so yes, it is eliminated. Extreme X gets sandwiched and eliminated thoroughly. Now it is a question if the team these two teams are going to begin fight for them, and if they are, who is at advantage, because both of them are out of the zone. Somewhere the ridge cover for Ambush Esports is somewhere better, but anyway, Reflex is making sure the ridge cover is used wisely. He did get for one knock, and now he's making sure using the chrono shields to avoid any counter attacks over here.
Okay then. Now, let's paint a picture over here. At this point, Ambush Esports, they were trying to third party in the fight between Jawbreakers and EXE, but they failed to do so. And at this point, the best that they can do is make sure that Jawbreakers do not get inside the circle. So far, they're doing a really good job because they managed to kill the entirety of Team Jawbreakers and gatekeep them from very far away. But they forgot about the fact that they have to move into the circle themselves, and now they're taking way too much zone damage. In fact, at this point, they might have just gifted the game to Team Agent because 2 of their players are knocked and in a position where they cannot be revived. One of them even had the grenade launcher, so that makes things even more difficult for Team Ambush Esports because they just lost their advantage. If they can somehow get pressure online, then they might just be able to get the grenade launcher back online, but Reflex gets knocked out in the middle of that transition. He tried to go towards that tractor or whatever that machine is, but he lost his head in the process, and a great headshot by Jamil enabled them to do so. Once again, the circle moves towards the center. Somehow Nitrox is back there. Ambush Esports is not out of this game just yet. Maybe they can get all 3 players online. And if Fresher is able to get back up on his feet, then the grenade launcher will be available for Ambush Esports once again. But Agent, they cannot afford to get tunnel vision. They know that there are teams on the other side as well. And this time, it's Team GB2L who's trying to create problems for them. They have Reflex watching upon Ambush Esports like a hawk. Meanwhile, the remaining 2 players are gatekeeping Team GB2L. And this is such great division of responsibility. And Zishan, what a wonderful shot through the glue wall. He's able to kill the last man standing. It boils down to 2 teams. It's Agent versus Ambush Esports. And they are outside the zone. They get eliminated. And here we have a wonderful booyah. This is such textbook Free Fire, perfection all the way through. At one point, I was so worried because Agent, they had the zone advantage, right? But then there's 6 more teams alive. How are you going to gatekeep 6 teams? So they thought, you know what? We won't gatekeep them. Let Ambush Esports and Jawbreakers kill each other, and then we can move in. It was so good.
Yeah, it was very smooth for them. From our perspective, I don't know how much hardship did they face. So yes, somewhere Agents did manage to bag away Booyah with number of kills. Agents somewhere lagged a little entering the zone. That is what gave them damage. And yes, the gatekeeping by one of the players standing in the sniper tower was way too strong. One shot, one knock, one shot, half damage. He was making sure as soon as he knocks it, the player gets eliminated. So, and team number 4, which was going to be GB2L Esports, they were also entering in the zone. So I thought somewhere we are going to see some knockings coming for Agenties, but no, Agents made sure that they are not knocked up at all. All 4 players quite too strong and managed to get some booyah. But talking about the highlights over here, the ski lodge fight, how can we miss that? Ali changed the route for the team, got 2 kills, and then took a flank, fall back for his team, saving his team for the future fights.
Yeah, but unfortunately, none of those teams were very successful. They lost most of their players early on, and they were third-partied by Team GB2L, who somehow managed to get themselves into the top 3, which is great. But on the other side, when this battle was going on between Team One Man and Infinity, it seemed like Infinity were just making way too many mistakes. So yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
I
that
do.
Yeah, that was definitely bad. But somewhere, see, I'm talking about agents. Agents made sure that they eliminated teams, and then they made the entry. It was quite smooth for them, getting the zone advantage of zone and gradual entry. But this is the perfect fight that I was looking out for. I was the team that Extreme X got eliminated by getting sandwich, and then the fight between two teams, which are going to be Agent Esports and the Team One Man. I somewhere thought that the Jawbreakers are going to make through, give some damage to agents, but agents were toothless. Yeah, agents were not ready to stop at all.
Yeah, and at the same time, you can see that nade from Jawbreaker's Cheetah that basically spelled doom for Team Extreme X. And that was what, led to their demise. Yeah, it's a different story that Jawbreakers themselves got kept in the end, but that's okay. They managed to kill two teams. They managed to kill two teams before that happened, so they have plenty of kill points in the bag for themselves. Team Agent, though, I love the way how they had division of responsibility. Zishan and Arnab gatekeeping Team GB2L. The other two players, Jamil and Sabir, they are trying to make sure that Team Ambush Esports don't have an avenue of entry in the zone. So it's a 2-2 split, and it works so well. It's the oldest trick in the book, the 2-2 split. I don't even have to say anything about it. Pretty much everyone knows what that basic split is. But sometimes it's those simple tricks, it's the basics, the fundamentals that help you win the game.
Yeah, it is the basic fundamentals, and they played it very well. And it was total of 14 kills. Crips. It is too difficult to back so much kills. Predict the zone, stay hold, stay put, and then eliminating teams by teams. They perfectly executed, and yes, it was very good achievement for them because 14 kills. Booyah, all 4 players intact, and I think it was Arnav who managed to bag the highest kills from the team. So maybe now it is not going to be Freak who is the highest kill leader or the MVP for the future leaderboard. It is going to be someone from Esports, and yes, we are going to head for the next match real soon. So by the way, what are your expectations for the next match? Jawbreakers, Agent E, because everyone is performing outstandingly well in each particular map.
I don't know, Tanya. This is just way too scary. To be honest, this was a flawless game. It's next to impossible to have all 14 kills, the 12 points from the Booyah, and then keep your players alive on top of that. That is just a ridiculous amount of points. I can't even do the math. That's like, what, more than 25 points in your bag in a single game? That is just so good. And now that we have a wonderful performance by Team Agent, I feel like it definitely would have shaken up the overall standings. But we'll take a look at the standings at the end of this game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to head into round 6. It's the battle for the desert, the sandy dunes, and the dusty overtones. It is Kalahari once again, and this is going to be the last battle of the day. So the teams have one last chance to put up as many points as possible and snatch that top league standing position.
Yeah, and highest resource zone over here. I did see 3 teams landing, but somewhere teams Xenon made sure that they don't engage into early on fights. But there are 2 teams who does want the best resources, best utilities, and do not have any threat of engaging into early fights. Because when you do engage over here, you tend to either lose some players early on and then you have to quit the fight. But these are the agents. Are they going to quit, or are they going to make sure that Mask Boys quit over here and leave back? Because agents are, whenever they enter into fight, coming from previous match for sure, so they make sure that each and every member is definitely eliminated. They don't even move an inch before they are done.
Oh my god, the revenge battle, it's already begun. On the kill feed, I just saw Jawbreakers knock out a player from Ambush Esports. If that is not revenge, I don't know what is. It is the best story. And revenge is the dish best served cold. Yep, Jawbreakers have already started up the killing, and it seems like they are hell-bent on eliminating Ambush Esports. It's almost like this is a story written in the heavens. It's almost fate that these 2 teams are fighting each other again. But on our screens for now is the battle for command post, and that's going to be between Team Agent and Mask. Mask being the team that got eliminated on 12th place in the previous game, and of course Agent being the team that managed to win the entire game. So it's like the battle of the top and the absolute bottom. Meanwhile, we also have Team XB battling Team Infinity, and this is happening in confinement. So we're seeing 3 battles happen simultaneously.
3 battles, 1 map, and teams divided into 2-2-2. I do not see any third party going on here, but what I see is advantage of height definitely lies in the hands of Team XP. But how wisely is Arthur going to use, because he is split from his teammate? It is not a exactly split strategy, but it is a scattered strategy. Somewhere I feel the strategy turns you down. But is Arthur going to make sure that he uses the advantage of heights and snipers? Kalahari being the map, snipers is the key to victory. So is he going to go victorious with the sniper usage, or is he just going to avoid the fight and just spot the enemies over here? But somewhere on the other side of the map, which is going to be Council Hall, Nobin has made sure that there's one team which is going to be GB2L Esports and does not engage himself into any fight, takes a fall back and he reunites with his team. But Siam Bao is not yet complete with the loot. He just wants more of his resources, more of his utilities, or maybe he's just wanting to upgrade everything that he's holding upon. Kingsman with low on HP doesn't hold any health kick, but over here Cheetah, Jawbreaker Cheetah is already down. Freak is knocked down too. They did take 3 kills.
Wow.
Freak and Cheetah getting eliminated. And how are the team Electro going to do? They are executing the teammates without fear, but somewhere Sadness will try to get that comeback, but Sadness gets attacked too, uses the glue wall, uses the inhaler, but somewhere they are not sparing. Team Electro doesn't want to spare so easily. 2 players are knocked down. How are they going to come back?
Yep, it's definitely a downhill battle for them. But given the positions of Sadness and Naim LM, I feel like they might be able to bait Team Electro into making mistakes. You see, they're not actually trying to close the distance between themselves. Sadness is actively trying to fall back, and he's trying to get into a position from where he can actually have an avenue of escape if he goes downhill. He knows that Team Electro have the high ground, and he knows he also have that Team Electro also has the man advantage. So what they're trying to do is just basically lure Team Electro out of Old Hampton and into the open, where Naim Aleem will have a much clear line of sight on them. And that's exactly what Sadness is doing. He deliberately took that path down the hill, hoping that they will follow him. And they did follow him, except that Sadness cannot get to cover in the nick of time, and he's going to get eliminated. It was a great strategy. It would have worked out if he was a little faster or a little more evasive, but the overall plan was to make sure that Team Electro leave this area of Old Hampton, come into the open where Naim Aleem can shoot them, and he was leading them into a trap, but before he could even set it up, he got knocked out, and now poor Naim Aleem, despite showing so much patience, he will not be able to help his team out, and now he's going to be the last man standing for them.
Absolutely, but Team Electro was too heavily electrified. They gave some certain shockers and confirmed the kill. But having said that, the fight here, which was Stonebridge, is already engaged. One player is down. Kiddo is making sure to get the second knockers, but it's now not going to be easy because they have some good shelters, covers. But Mola comes within the fire range and firing shots. Mola is knocked down over here, and Loser going to make sure that the player is healed up, player is revived, and yes, Mola does get the revival. All 4 players still standing to take a fight over here. And where's the other team?
Oh, they're vanished, reduced to atoms. They're gone. And Team One Man once again are able to come out on top. This time, a successful battle by them, but unfortunately, the trouble isn't over yet. I do believe the first circle will be starting to shrink just now. And let's take a look at where the circle is actually headed. I hope we get to see the map soon, so that we can figure out which team stands where. But speaking of which team stands where, let's take a look at the standings first. That is something that I was very excited to see. Jawbreaker is still on top. Now that's exciting. I mean, kind of expected as well. Team Xenon, they have been overthrown. They were on the #1 spot a couple of matches ago, but now they're down to 2nd place. But look at that massive jump by Team Agent TXP. Oh my goodness. That one booyah, that one victory managed to propel them into the top 3.
Yep, once again, we are seeing that history is being repeated. 2 teams are sharing the scores, which are going to be Team Xenon and Agents. But somewhere the performance of Agent made sure that they could get an easy upshift. The flawless booyah that they got with certain amounts of strong kills, that definitely provided them with a positive plus. So having said that, we are headed back. The fight which was going to happen between Agent TXP and Team XB is still delayed. Both of the teams holding quite too patiently, doesn't want to start. None of them want to engage into fights as of now. They're just waiting. But somewhere it is Agents. They are holding once again. And Zisan in Sniper Tower once again proves to be a very good threats to the opposite team. And as a calling of Zisan, he is the highest fragger for his team. The team agents does have this highest fragger once again on the sniper tower. How deadly can he prove himself for this match?
Oh boy, 6 kills. That means he was the one who got a majority of kills for his team last time. His team overall had 14, and if he has like 6 kills, that's like almost half of them contributed by Zishan himself. Good job by him. He was the one responsible for shutting down Team Ambush Esports, and at one point, he had that one great stylish shot through the glue wall, which eliminated Team GB2L. So yeah, that is something for the highlight reels. Meanwhile, over here, we have another battle on our hands, and this time it's going to be Team EXE versus Team Xenon. I do believe that Team EXE lost one of their players to Team Jawbreakers right at the start of the game, but oh my goodness, Shifat, a shot through the wall, and that's going to be able to get Zico down on his knees, finish him off as well. Who else is remaining? It's only Kazi, and he is in a lot of trouble because there's Team TXP and also Team One Man in that same compound. And Team Xenon has a feast for themselves. There's so many weakened squads about to enter this area. Team One Man, though, they're taking control of this containers area. They have a landmine also set up just in case somebody decides to assault them. And at the same time, I just feel so bad for Team XP and Team EXE because they are sandwiched in between two very strong teams. They don't even have their all players online, so that's just unfortunate. And look at this. They're trapped inside the container. A glue wall put up to keep themselves alive for just a little longer, but Team TXP have been discovered, and now Mullah, he wants to get them killed. He wants to finish them off right here, and that nade should do the job, but the nade misses. Oh my god, that was not supposed to happen. No problem. No problem. He has another chance. He can still get it done.
Absolutely, locking themselves in the containers with your own glue wall just to save yourself. It was a funny moment for them, but Loser made sure that the players are starting to get eliminated. Kunok, on the other hand, did get one knock. Mola on the counter fire did get knocked, and the worst part is Crips UAV is just about here. The players who are not aware about the teams are standing where they all are, having a clearer picture about where can they get the fighting shots from. Alamin is making sure Flips gets some damages, some knockers, but some Flips saves himself under the cover of rock. Treatment gun is used for them, coming from Alpha this time and running in open. Was not a good strategy coming from Sky, and he did get spotted. Alamin is making sure he gets eliminated, but once again, a good team support coming from GB2L EA Sports because they want to make sure that the players are not so early on.
Team Xenon, they are just so good at punishing your mistakes. In fact, they're so good at forcing out errors from the enemies. You saw how they were able to put TXP and Team One Man against each other. They pitted that battle, hoping that another team will be eliminated and they should be able to get the third-party kills from above. But they didn't manage to snag any kills. At least they did manage to cause a lot of chaos. And now look at that. Team GB2L was forced to exit that area, even though they had such a strong hold over it. And now teams don't have their number. They know exactly where GB2L is. They know exactly who they are as well because they managed to get that knock. And that's the information they need. They also did manage to knock one player from Team One Man early on. But he was revived. So now they know which team exactly they're up against. They also know exactly where the two teams are. And once the next circle pops, they should be able to manipulate the hell out of them.
Yeah, it is going to be very easy. They can execute it that way. But when I see Zisan with his double snipers in the sniper tower, I'm just waiting to watch because for now, he has taken no kills. Now holding to the same strategy within the different maps. Is he going to play same or no? But somewhere, until and unless you have good numbers, I think they can get some good amount of kills over here. But for now, they're not wanting the kills. They are saving their numbers just like the previous match for taking the future fights. Sufan, on the other hand, is trying to spot some enemies. Alamin again spots out some enemies, and at this time it is going to be a different team. It is Extreme X did get sandwiched in the previous match. This time they are trying to make sure that they don't get sandwiched. They are trying to go edge to edge, but Alamin would not stop so easy, would not let it loose so easy. He wants to make sure that one of the player gets knocked up because he is the only player who is having the advantage of height. Other two are on the left side of the hill, so they need to get an easier flank. So if he gives the perfect position, maybe they can take the advantage of kills for now.
Well, here's my concern, Tanya. Team Xenon do have a great position onto all the players of Team One Man and Team EXE, but take a look at this. They're on the edge of the circle and they need to move in now. So they might be forced to give up that position, and that's exactly what they're doing. They have just one player keeping an eye on those two teams, and that's going to be Antono. Meanwhile, the other players have already moved away from that area and into the circle. So again, division of responsibility. That's exactly what they're going for. And Anto, though, can he gatekeep 3 teams at once? I mean, he doesn't even need to gatekeep them per se. In fact, the circle moves in a way where now Xenon is going to be the ones who get gatekept. So this is revenge at its finest. Now Xenon are going to have to go into the very area that they were trying to attack first. And little do they know that there's 2 teams present over here. I don't know how Kazi managed to survive for so long. He's been hiding there for like ages right now. Somebody put him out of his misery already. But on the other side, and that is at command post, we have Team Agent, who once again are in prime position. They've got several compounds for themselves, a sniper tower as well, which means they have the majority of command post under lock and key. Will anyone be able to pass through this area? I don't believe they should have been able to do so. But elsewhere, Team One Man, they're creating problems for Team Xenon. They managed to get a knock. And what do Team Xenon do in this position? Because they're on the high ground. Coming down is going to be even more problematic. And once they realize that they're not alone over here, this will become so much more chaotic. The circle is tiny. It's extremely tiny. And Team Agent seems to have everyone number. They are battling against Team GB2L, who were currently being gatekept by Xenon at one point. But now the positions have changed and they're up against Team Agent instead.
Yeah, absolutely. They are up against Agent, and Agent Jamil makes sure that his kill is confirmed over here. So yes, Zishan on the other hand has also confirmed the kill. Agents are being very strong once again, holding the center of the circle, and once again being the center of the circle and getting the center of attraction. Both of them are held high, and they might get some negative effects after that. But before that, Zenin on the other side of the map they are getting ruthless. They are confirming the kills as long as possible. But they do need to make sure that they enter the zone just on time, because Kalahari, it is the only map the fate is decided on the shift of the circle. Because if you don't enter the circle, you lose the health over there. And Alamin wants to engage into distance fight. They are being gate kept somewhere, but it is quite too necessary to eliminate 2 players before entering the circle.
Oh no, Shifat, he's getting shot from behind. Even Team Electro is on a third party on this one. And meanwhile, all of this is happening and Team Agent are just enjoying this. Take a look at Team Xenon. They're just so desperate and they're tunnel vision onto Team Infinity, but they should be able to get those kills. Kingsman down, and there goes the other player, Nobin, as well. Team Infinity gets knocked out. Finally, Team Xenon can focus their attention towards the other side of the circle. But do they know there's an enemy in the tower? Do they know that Kunok has a vision onto them? I don't think they're aware about him being in that sniper tower. No, they definitely don't know about this one. But elsewhere, Team Agent, they're actually getting plummeted. GB2L, they full send it in, but Agent are still able to win this fight. Sabir, on the other hand, though, unfortunately won't be able to revive Ornob, but he is going to try to get into his room. He tanks the damage to get to Ornob. That's great. He should be able to get him back online, but to enter the zone again, they're going to have to pass through the blue and then into the other room, and I don't know if they have enough health and resources to do so. Electro on the high ground. They will be forced to leave that sniper tower, but before they do that, they will at least ace Team One Man. So now there's only 3 teams remaining, Tanya.
Now we are headed towards the top 3 teams with 8 players, so none of the team is quite too healthy except for one team, which is Team Xenon. We have seen them taking away good number of kills, and once again they are going to do 8 kills already. Down Shukran taking a longer route, taking the damage of Team Zone, knocks one player and confirms the second player as well. Firing shots would not stop now. It is we have come down to 2 teams. It is going to be 4v2, and over here Lamin down and Noto down, but somewhere Booyah is being bagged by Team Xenon, and it was very good as well.
I love the way how Xenon turned the tables. At one point, Team Xenon were up on the high ground, just chilling, killing, quite literally. They were taking shots on Team EXE, on GB2L, on Team One Man, and it's just a buffet of frags in front of them. Surprise. It all changes when the circle shifts. And now all of a sudden, Team Xenon are at a disadvantage. Well, what do we do now? You take it one step at a time. You go towards the containers, you get rid of Team EXE, and then out of nowhere, Shifat, he pulls out the big bad grenade launcher and he just goes bum 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 bum. He destroys most of Team One Man. Only like 2 players were remaining at that time, and Kunok was hiding in that sniper tower. So they killed 3 kills and they got the entire containers area for themselves. And at this point is where I start to appreciate Shipak even more. Those shots through the blue walls, they were perfect.
Absolutely, they were just more than perfect. And over here, this is how can we forget this funny moment when the team XB were hiding inside such a small container. Grenades were missed. That is how they did manage to run out. But Loser made sure to jump and shoot them with the shotgun skills that he holds. Kunok, on the other hand, also took a fight over here. But Mola getting knocked, the players made sure that they don't lose in the knocker. But elimination of Agent did definitely give advantage to the Booyah winning team, which was Xenon, because I felt somewhere if Agents, all 4 players are surviving, they are going back away the Booyah. But over here, Shifat and his grenade launcher used just on point, confirming the kills, making their survival very difficult.
Yeah, those grenade launcher kills were just so important, because if they did not come through, then Xenon would have no ground to stand upon. They would have been outside the zone, and that would have been not a good place to be in. So he was able to secure ground for his team, indiscriminately firing away in the containers. Meanwhile, Team Agent and Electro, they just ended up killing themselves. So Electro was so weak by the time they entered the zone. Xenon had absolutely no problem eliminating them. And then even Team Agent, that's what happens when you go up against a team like Xenon, because they are the masters of manipulation. They will force you to fight each other, and then they will come in. They're the masters of forcing out errors from their opponents, and that is what I like the most about them.
Absolutely. And yes, guys, we are just going to be back real soon. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you are here. We are going to show you good leaderboards. We are going to show you the scores as well, because this was the final match. We are going to get the best out of the teams from Group Group A and Group B.
কিন্তু ফাইট জিতে এখানে কিন্তু একেবারে সুইসাইড গেমার গেমিং এবং লাস্টে দি গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট গেমার যারা নক হয়ে গেল তখন এমজিআর যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টে দি গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট Giving it 9 is going to eliminate. যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টে দি গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট কিন্তু ফাইট জিতে এখানে কিন্তু একেবারে সুইসাইড গেমার গেমিং এবং লাস্টে দি গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট ক্যামেরা যারা নক হয়ে গেল তখন এমজিআর যে টিম পেছে চলে আসবে এবং লাস্টে দি গেমিং উইথ নাইমে জোন এলিমিনেট
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Free Fire Bangladesh Championship. All 6 games of the day are done, and we thank you a lot for sticking with us through this amazing journey. But guess what, guys? This is just the start of this journey. There's 8 more days left for the league stage, followed by the play-ins, followed by the finals, and a lot of Free Fire action is still left. But for now, we will be wrapping up the day. Let's conclude by taking a look at which teams are on what position and how many maps did we see. Of course, there were 6 games, but then in those 6 games, Team Jawbreakers managed to win 2 of them.
Absolutely, it was only breakers who did bag away 2 booyahs. But if we talk about all the all the 6 matches, round one we was conquered by Team One Man, and then Purgatory. We see Extremes taking away the booyahs, and then once again when we head back to Bermuda, it was the Jawbreakers. Jawbreakers did go for the consistency for the round four, of which was Kalahari, and then Purgatory, Agent E, EXP. I cannot stop praising their play. And once again, when we headed back to Kalahari, Team Xenon somewhere realized that we are stumbling down, and then they did come out with strong plays for the final match for the day because they wanted to get qualified, not only get qualified, but being on the scoreboard on number one. So, yes, scoreboard is ready, guys. Let's see who did go with the rank one, and it is all about qualification. It is just the league day one.
Yep, let's take a look at the scoreboard. I am kind of excited to see if Team Xenon is still on top. Oh, yes, they are. They are. I feel so good for Team Xenon right now because there were these 3 games where they back-to-back finished in second place. And I was like, oh, this is so frustrating. You need to be hating yourself if you're Team Xenon because you missed out on Booyah 3 times. But they did win the Booyah in the end. So, yeah, that definitely gives them a little boost. And take a look at their placement points. They have 49 placement points, total of 85 points, which is amazing.
Agent A just following the lead, difference of 4 points. But anyway, they are qualified as well. They got one booyah. It is only Jawbreakers who did manage to get 2 booyahs with 78 points. So the difference between all 3 or top 3 is not much, not more than 10. Or it is just a difference of 10 or 15, not even a double digit, going to double marker over here. So somewhere Team Xenon's come back for the final match. Kalahari, the leaderboard changer. I would not change my comments on that. It did get for them. It did get them upshift. It did get them some good kills. Alongside that, they played outstandingly well.
I'm surprised the Team Jawbreakers, even after winning 2 booyahs, are still on the 3rd place overall. But let's be honest, the overall leaderboards, it does not have as much impact as the league board does. And now we'll take a look at the league standings because this is the stuff that will determine whether or not you make it to the finals.
So, yep, absolutely. We see that Group A and B had a match today. Team Electro with 20 points. Points are going to be this, but these are the qualified teams from Group A and B. Group A has Electro, Infinity, GB2L Esports, Team XB, Mask Boys, and Team Cyanide. On the other hand, from Group B, we have 6 qualified teams as well, which are going to be Team Xenon, Agent EXP, the Jawbreakers, Team One Man, Team Extreme X's, and Ambush Esports.
Oh my god, Tanya, this is such ridiculousness. Xenon, Agent, and Jawbreakers, the 3 teams who are on top of the match standings, are all from Group B, which means even after getting some of the best performances throughout the day, they are going to have to cannibalize on each other's points. And Team Electro and Infinity, who were not even in the top 3, end up walking away with more league points than Jawbreakers. That has got to be heartbreaking. Imagine winning 2 booyahs and then still walking away with only 14 league points. That is basically where you start hating yourself. You win the 2 games and then in spite of that, you're not on top. But luckily for Team Jawbreakers, this is not the end. There are 8 more days of play left.
Yeah, I cannot wait for those 8 more days. But right now, what I cannot wait is about the redeem code. That is what the viewers are waiting for. So, guys, here is your redeem code. Make sure you redeem it and make sure you take the giveaway. It is a token of love coming from Garena themselves.
Yep, in that corner of your screen right now, you should be able to see the redeem code. And that is just a token of appreciation for sticking with us all throughout the stream and watching all these interesting games. Don't worry, you'll have it pretty much every day across the league stage. Of course, you will have some interesting games as well at the top of it. So it's entertainment along with rewards. What else could you ask for?
And lots of action. It is just that you bag your popcorns, hold to your screen, and then just enjoy everything. Rewards play and your favorite team, because yes, you then tend to enjoy it even more if your chosen team is winning so well. So for today, we did see five booyahs, five best teams contesting today. It was six total who are going through Group A, going through Group B. So we are lucky, Crips. We are going to see them back in action real soon tomorrow, because we still do have lots and lots of league days to follow.
Yep, that was one hell of a start, Tanya. To be honest, I couldn't have asked for anything better. All the matches over here were really, really intense. The rivalries are starting to shape up. And at this point, you start to realize that maybe the teams in Group B are indeed stronger than the teams in Group A. But whether or not that will be the case, we will have to see later on. At this point, I don't really have much else to add except for reminding you that you should tune back into the same channel tomorrow at the same time to watch all this action unfold. My name is Cribs, and joining me was Tanya for today. We will be seeing you again tomorrow, so make sure that you have your popcorn ready. For now, that's all from our side. See you again.
Thank you.